What up? What up? It's time for the live show, baby. Alrighty, so just me right now. But we're expecting a lot of guests later today. Jack's on his way home. He'll be joining us shortly. If you guys don't know me for whatever reason, my name is Jason Stolakis. I host Ball Blab, and me and Jack had the thought of doing a live watch party with a lot of people, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun as we watch the game, as the Sox are in danger of giving up their first run in the game, 3-2 to Gene Segura. Jazz Chisholm on second after the Justin Turner error, which was a tough error, to say the very least. Bayo pitched a great first inning, but in some trouble in this second inning. Let's see. Oh, good pitch by Bayo. Sinker outside. Strike three. But we have a very special guests coming up soon, so stay tuned. This is just the beginning. Joey Wendell's up to bat. Oh God, he's been a kill out this series. Former Tampa Bay Ray, now Marlin. Thank you, Sean, for that. I love the hat too. Personally, got that in Fort Myers. When I went down to spring training this year, you can see there's the 23 for the Grapefruit League. It's pretty good. I like it. All right, 1-2 to Joey Wendell. Jack is joining in just a couple of minutes. Little nice catch by Bayo. The runner moves over to third, so thank you, Sean, for that Twitter thing. I appreciate it, man. I apologize. Jack's having some technical difficulties. He'll be on soon. 1-1. Alrighty, that's a sinker low and away. 2-1, but runner on third, so 2 outs. So that means the fly ball doesn't get in the run. Oh, good sinker by Bayo. So for the viewers, I see we have quite a few. Think to yourself for a moment, if you could describe the Red Sox season thus far using one word other than inconsistent, what word would it be? Oh man, that was funny. 2-2. No. Oh, what a catch by Verdugo. Alrighty, Verdugo. Verdugo with a nice catch and right. There's Jemai Webster. So to answer my question before on if I could use one word other than inconsistent to describe the Red Sox this season, it's got to be expected. And here's why. Coming into the year, you had a lot of pieces that had question marks on them, right? Like shortstop, that was a major question. Um, Shortstop was a major question. The starting rotation was certainly a question. It's a young and hungry rotation, to say the least, right? You have Bayo, who's developing. Hauk is hurt, but he's developing too. Whitlock, he hasn't done well as of recently, but the potential's there. Then you have Cutter Crawford, although a back end guy at best, he's still pretty solid. Kind of continuing what I was saying before, you had question marks all over the place, including the bullpen. The bullpen was a strength of your team now, but we didn't really know that coming in the season. We knew it was going to be revamped with Kenley Jansen as a closer and Chris Martin and a couple other pieces, right? And Masa Yoshida too. We had no idea what he could do because he had seen zero major league pitches up to the point. Yoshida, oof. You know, I'm starting to be a little frustrated with Cora. He benched Casas again. I know it's a lefty, but dude, you're not gonna have him develop if you sit him against lefties. Like, I don't get it, man. Gosh, nasty slider by Lazardo. Lazardo has great numbers against lefties. Sean, we all said a season of ifs. If it all went well, we would be in the hunt. If if it didn't, we wouldn't be mid. Yeah, we did talk about this in the offseason, Sean. I think you know it almost as good as me, right? All the spaces we're saying, if this could happen, if that could happen, if he can be hot, if he can play half a season, if he can play a full season, if he can play at all, right? It it really comes down to the amount of success these guys are having. Because even if they can do that, they gotta have great seasons, right? And they're about where we thought, or where I thought at least. They're right in the middle. They're average. They're not in a playoff spot. If they were a little bit better, they would be lurking in the third wild card. But yeah, ground ball. Wendell gets a Royal out. Royal goes 6-3. Wow, Kike. Kike Hernandez has been very disappointing, to say the very least. Um, oh, come on, Kike. You can't be swinging at that pitch. Gosh, I know that was a bit nasty slider, but still. Jesus. As Will Fleming said on the radio the other day, the bad news bears continues. The Sox can't get swept by the Marlins if they're going to be competitive. I'm sorry. We said this against Miami, or not Miami. We said this against Colorado. We said this against St. Louis. We said this against freaking Pittsburgh out of all teams. You got to win the easy games, and you got to win games against your division. Quite frankly, this season's been the polar opposite of last season when it comes to divisional play. You're good against your division, and you're bad against everyone else. That's just wild to think. Jack will be on 5. Alrighty, commercial break. I'm going to be ahead of a lot of our guests today. I know it's early in the game, but I promise you we have a lot of guests scheduled for later on. Alrighty. No. Well, the Sox aren't going to do anything at the deadline. Here's why. They know they have Trevor Story coming back, and they have positive news with Chris Sale, right? So what's Bloom's logic always been? Oh, we don't have to pay for reinforcements. They're just coming back naturally, right? Trevor Story will provide you power from the right side and speed and defense at shortstop. Oh, wow, the Marlins don't have a hit. Huh. And Chris Sale's going to return presumptively in mid-August, right? I think he's not eligible till August 6th or something like that. So a couple days after the trade deadline, you're going to have multiple reinforcements coming. It's a matter of when does Trevor Story come back too, because he's apparently going to come back as a DH. If he comes back as a DH, then you're probably expecting him in, I don't know how many weeks, but coming up soon. But at the same time, if you're out of it, and if you have a bad month of July, do you really want to rush him, and do you really want to screw up his potential for next season? I don't know, or his, how do I say it? Point being, you don't want to rush him to affect his status for next season. Because reality is, if 2024 circled on the behind Bloom calendar, because I personally, as a fan, don't know the plan of Bloom still. But if it's 2024, If it's 2024, then they gotta have Story healthy. Oh, Bayo just walked the number 8 guy. Jesus. Dave O'Brien just said, so the win for the Marlins would put them 14 games over 500. Wow, it's 2021. The Marlins are bad. The Pirates are bad. The Orioles are having another bad season. The Red Sox are having a good season. Right, 2023, the Red Sox are having a bad season. The Orioles are a threat. My God, they've turned it around. But they just have young guys in their freaking farm system. They just keep revamping them. And then, Jesus. Bayo's losing command. Oh, God. They keep Baltimore has all these good guys because they sucked for so long, right? They even have freaking Jackson Holiday. All those guys are young and hungry. It's insane. Alrighty, we have Jack coming on. Jack, welcome.
Can you hear me? All good?
Sir? Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Welcome on.
Awesome. Thank you, bro.
I have the game in the background.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Coast to coast, get more of the game. There we go.
Pulling up Nesson 360. Oh, double play.
Yeah. So who do we have up next?
For guests?
Yeah.
So we have Tom and Quincy next.
Awesome.
Charlie had to cancel. He was at work.
Yeah, that's all right.
He was stuck at work. So Tom's going to be interesting. Okay, you can't nonchalant that throw.
Do we have people listening right now?
Yeah, we have a few. We have a few guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, Jason, something I've noticed is the defense actually plays pretty well when Bayo pitches.
Yeah, and Bayo's going to be he has a lot of swing and miss stuff, but I think throughout the minors he was kind of a ground ball guy. But
yeah, definitely. It's ground ball.
Rise is down to 394.
Yeah, that's getting low, huh?
They started having the Sean just commented Jack. Oh, wow. What a catch by Bayo. Holy shit.
Wow. Give him the gold glove.
Oh my, you almost killed him.
In the chat or something? Oh, comments. Jack. Sean, what's going on, dude? Thank you. Good to see. Oh, Jason's hat. Yeah, I like Jason's hat too. Thought you were talking about my hat. It's a pretty plain hat. I could go get my Sox hat. You know, I actually have one with Fenway dirt on it.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have Nate coming on later. We have a bunch of other guys.
Yep, love it. Yes, sir. Just as.
Yeah, alrighty, Jack, get out of here.
No, I just had to get a charger just in case. We're good for now.
Yeah?
Yeah, just want to make sure we're prepared to go the mile. Go the distance.
Yeah.
So, Jason, what do you think about Whitlock's shaky couple last starts?
You know, I think first of all, you gotta ride him out as a starter for the rest of the season.
Definitely
see what a full sample size of a season looks like.
Yep, agree.
Then make an executive decision next season, saying, okay, we want him back in the bullpen, or okay, we want him back as a starter. We see the potential in him.
Yeah, I agree.
What would I personally do? I want to see a little bit more from him. I'm not ready to make he should be in the bullpen or he should be a starter, because he has had flashes in the rotation at the same time, but he's not as consistent in the rotation as he is in the bullpen, obviously.
Right.
So
I will say the concern with him last year in the rotation was like he's losing command, velocity's way down, and then the injury came in, or the hip or whatever it was, but his velocity still isn't really there. Like he's still sitting like 94, whereas before he was sitting 97. And I expect that when you're going from, 20, 25 pitches to 85, 95. but at times it doesn't look like his stuff is all that great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Hauk, obviously, freak accident of an injury, but he was again on and off, and again, like you have trouble through the rotation or through the lineup. I mean, so I haven't been pleased with what we've seen from the two
Oh,
of them.
is that gonna stay fair?
Yeah, it's foul. Yeah, I haven't totally loved what we've seen from Hauk and Whitlock. I was hoping for better, but Bayo, of course, has been great. So
I've liked what I've seen out of Hauk more than Whitlock. I think it
yeah,
goes Bayo, Hauk, Whitlock. I'm not including Cutter.
okay, yeah.
You
I
can't
mean,
take that
Cutter, like
bitch.
Lou Merloni's always been super high on Cutter. He might be right. Like, I think Cutter as a starter, he could be better than Whitlock and Hauk as starters. Hauk's stuff is consistently good in foul, and he doesn't have crazy velocity, really good movement, of course. But I like Cutter as a starter. When the fastball's on, he's pitching really well.
Right.
Do you like Millar in the booth?
I don't know. Apparently, I was filming a podcast with Derek McGuire yesterday. Apparently, last season they lost only once with him in the booth, and this year they only have one win with him in the booth.
Really? That's a crazy stat.
I don't know. MLB Network had it. It was weird. Ugh. Jesus.
Another Wong K, huh?
I'm getting frustrated with Wong. Not even
It's
gonna lie.
I get frustrated with him. The K rate is super high, but then I'm like, he's a catcher. You know, the fact that he has a 750, 760 OPS is pretty good for a catcher. Like, very good for a catcher.
It's hard to get. It's hard to get good all around catchers, right?
Yeah.
Hard to
I
get
will
it.
say, I think although Wong has an awesome arm, in his blocking, I don't know how good his blocking is pretty good, I would say, but his framing, he costs our pitchers some strikes sometimes. Like there'll be a pitch where it's on the border, and if with a decent frame you'll get it, but he'll just catch it, give up, go back to the pitcher. Like his framing's really bad. Whereas McGuire and Hamilton, actually, Caleb Hamilton, they're both pretty good framers.
Yeah, Caleb Hamilton's gonna get DFA'd when Reese comes back.
Yeah. Does he have options?
Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he'll get optioned then.
He'll get optioned or I don't know. Depends. Yeah, he'll probably be optioned just because they want
they don't have the
40-man spot.
AAA catchers like Ronaldo Hernandez, dude.
But he's not even a catcher, from what I've heard.
Ronaldo Hernandez?
He's so bad. He's so bad defensively.
Oh yeah.
You can't even put him at catcher.
Though. He was the guy we got in the Chris Mazza.
That's a question for Derek McGuire more than me.
Yeah. I've actually gone back and forth in DM with Ronaldo Hernandez. It's kind of funny.
Because I thought he was the guy who's
Here we go,
brought
JT. Up. So at 7 is Tom?
7's Tom, so 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to pull up the sheet you sent me.
Okay. I updated it. If you want an updated one.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So
Turner's had a good year, but it's discouraging, especially he's been helpful that he's been able to step in at first and third. But if you look at how well JD's done, dude, it's discouraging to see. This is our DH when we traded DHs and we got the short end of the stick kind of thing.
Well, here's the thing. I would rather JT than JD Martinez. JD Martinez is a DH. JT
because of the defense.
Play the field.
Yes.
Come on. Ugh. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what he does because he has a 13 million player option with a buyout of 7 million or something.
He's gonna yeah. If the buyout's that much, he'll opt out, get the 7 million, and then sign 222 again.
Yeah, he could, or do something like Anthony Rizzo did.
Meaning,
if he opts out, then offer him the qualifying offer.
I don't know if I'd give JT the qualifying offer. You think he's a? Yeah. I probably. No. I actually no way.
Never mind. It's way too much money.
It's 19. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Hold on, I want to see what the Red Sox on base percentage is in the month of June.
It's pretty. I don't know. because there are a few games that are like very big outliers, like
Yeah,
the
the
Yankee
two
series and
Twins
the
games.
Twins games.
But like they're on base percentage. Okay, it's 325 still, but
It's not
dude,
that
like
good, actually.
I feel like they're
That's
just
not that good.
it's pretty for as a team. It's pretty good though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, fine.
I
Okay.
just, dude, I feel like it feels like soft contact, weak at bats. Doesn't feel like we're getting on base. I don't know.
You know, you want to know where Alex Verdugo finished in All Star voting?
Where?
He didn't even make the top 20.
Top 20, yeah, yeah.
He didn't even make the top 20. That's
That's
ridiculous.
something
They gotta
actually I'm glad
change
you
that
bring that
shit.
up because like the All-Star game, bro, you look at the Blue Jays guys and it's like Merrifield is going up at second base and it's like Kiermaier and even Dalton Varsho was close to getting into the top 8. Like it's just the Blue Jays, the people up in Canada spam their phones right when it hits midnight. They go in, they send in their 3 submissions or whatever it is from 5 different emails. Like it's stupid at that point. Um, it should like it'll be nice to see if I mean when the coaches pick who do you think will get in for the Sox? Verdugo or Yoshida?
Verdugo.
Okay, I agree. The defense has been really good.
Yoshida Yoshida's starting to concern me a little bit more, and here's why. You got to remember in Japan, right? Players in Japan play less time, right? They don't play 162 games. They play much
Yeah.
less. How much is Yoshida going to adapt to this? He hasn't played that much. I know he got hit in the wrist. That's why
Sorry.
he was out of the lineup for the past 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too. At the end of the day, like the guy's been great. The only stat I think he's been better than Verdugo in, I want to say his home runs. It's like 8-5.
Whatever.
Otherwise, like I was looking at their advanced stuff too, like exit velocity, barrel percentage. They're literally the same player outside of Moss has better power. Verdugo has a much better glove, which I'm not complaining about. But I'd agree. It's probably going to be Verdugo. And I mean, Bayo, dude, he could be an all-star. He's pitching
Bayo
well.
could be, yeah.
The thing is, though, he started the season on the 15 day, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I like this kid, Brian De La Cruz. He's a good player.
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
Come on, Bayo.
Good play.
Nice.
Alrighty.
There
We have
go.
Tom.
That's some
We have Tom
defense.
coming in. Do pigs
Tom's coming
fly?
in. Tom.
Tom, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on? Good to see you.
How you guys been? I haven't talked to you in a bit.
Yeah, everything's going well. You?
Yeah, I'm just hanging.
Good. I liked a couple of your calls recently that you made in Felger and Maz.
Oh, thank you. You didn't think I was a racist, did you?
No.
I was told last night that I'm a racist because I called him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Who was it? Was it Maz? Maz had some.
Yeah, I think I know what they're talking about.
It was like something about
Felga's stolen car or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they told me last night that I blatantly racist because I called him.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Chase, what do you see in Jazz? What do you guys see in Jazz Chisholm?
Oh, he's a good player. Got the flash, man, that kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Power strikeouts, but yeah, flash, athletic. Very athletic.
That flash. He's exciting to watch, you know.
Yep.
Like most of the young players in baseball, you know, they all have something that's kind of.
So, Tom.
It's pretty cool. What's up, man?
I've asked Jack this. I don't know. I forget what his answer was, but if you had to describe the Red Sox in one word other than inconsistent, what word would it be?
Maddening.
Yeah.
Maddening. You know, I think that when I mean, you guys know how I felt about them going in. I didn't think they'd get to the 78 from last year, but the fact that they're floating at 500 with what they have assembled is kind of crazy. But, when they can put up 15 one night and you're like, oh, people start to feel good about it.
Right.
And then they just look like garbage for the next 5 or 6 games. And it's like, do you expel all of your good play in one game and then you can't just keep it together?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you look at, I was looking at actually yesterday. So they scored 9 and then 10 against the Twins. And then it was 4, 0, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2.
Right.
So yeah, it's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. They
It's
give
like,
it all.
I think the only thing they've been consistent in all year is being inconsistent.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, it sounds like a stupid thing to say, but that's all I can think of. It's
no,
like,
you're right.
When you try to say, like, what else have they done, like, on a consistent basis? Have they pitched well consistently? No. Have they hit well consistently? No. Have they fielded well at all a year? No.
Consistently bad at defense. I like the word maddening.
Consistently poor defense.
Yeah, and I like maddening too because they leave a lot out there. Like they have not been good with runners in scoring position lately.
Right.
The defense has cost them definitely games to this point. So yeah, it's frustrating that they haven't been able to. And I think some of it's like, how is it? We're in the second to last game of June tonight, and Kike Hernandez is playing shortstop again.
Right.
How is this still happening?
Yeah, and the thing too, guys, it's like they're like, well, Cora this and Cora. I'm like, Cora's made some interesting decisions throughout the season so far.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
who else is he going to put there?
You try to manage that roster.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Right? And when the mistakes are made, fundamental mistakes are made, either base running errors, fielding mistakes, missing the cutoff man.
Yeah.
Like dumb shit. Like Cass is trekking across the diamond when he should take the play at first. Like those types of things, they're like, well, Bloom, like, no, dude. These guys need to know that way before they're at this level. And I hear a lot of people say, and I get yelled at all the time, I'm an old person and I don't know what I'm talking about, and blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, the Boston Red Sox, when you get to the Boston Red Sox, this is not, development league when you get here. You need to know how to play when you get here. You don't get another 3 years to figure out how to play a position when you finally get to the roster. They do that on the Royals and the Rays and those teams. This team has way too many resources to field a team like the one they're fielding right now.
Yeah.
And when you try to half-ass things like Bloom has done, you put together a team, the guys that you're putting in positions they've never played, or if they have played, they're not good at it. Or when they have played there, they're not good enough at the pro level to stay there every day. And those all compile, and you end up watching the display that we've watched, for the 82 games or whatever the hell it is we're at right now.
Yeah, I think you look at this team and the biggest flaws in terms of, Bloom did this or that wrong, is you knew you weren't going to have a story until the middle of July, call it.
Right.
And even at that point, you're trusting Kike Hernandez to play second. And the guy is just too hot and cold when it comes to hitting. He's too hot and cold. He doesn't do anything spectacular. At best, he's going to be a decent, 9 hitter. He can't be your leadoff hitter if you expect to be a wild card team. And then you're also trusting Sale to be your ace. Kluber was a huge debacle. And, you're lucky. I think you're lucky you've gotten this much out of Paxton. You've built this team with just too much question. And I think, and even then, another error, you kept Brazier over all these guys just to see him pitch horrible and go. So there are definitely a few flaws. Granted, I am somebody who's I kind of like the direction of the team moving forward. But this year, it's just tough.
If I could add to that, actually, real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tom, we've been saying this. Bloom knew it from the start of the season.
Correct.
And he did nothing to address it.
Right.
Other than, we have guys we think can play there. think, not can, think. We have guys who we think can play there, and we hope we're going to get good production out of, like Kike at shortstop. We hope we're going to get good production out of him, but we have no idea. This Yoshida kid, we had no idea coming into the season what he was able to do. And here we are, just as probably me and you thought of it, Tom, right?
Yeah. And the thing, it's like when you think of just total mediocrity, right? So, I mean, I felt going into the year, there was too many what ifs, right? So they're like, oh, you could get to 90 wins, but you could get only 70. Like, it was like a sliding scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the win total will be based on which guys will perform
right
to expectations or above, right? So I was of the mindset that all of these guys brought in are going to need to exceed those expectations to get to that wild card spot.
Definitely, right? Yeah.
And unfortunately, the fear that we all had was Sale's never going to last the season.
Yeah.
And they put all the hopes in the world as an ace to Sale, right? I am shocked by Paxton because I gave him no shot.
Me and you. Yeah.
I'll take the loss on Paxton. But
you're glad to be wrong.
I'm happy to be wrong. Jason, I've said that to you a million times.
Yeah.
Whenever I have these negative things, and I'm like, listen, guys, I don't want the Sox to be bad.
Right, absolutely.
I want all of my opinions and all of everything I have to say about them that are in negative light. I want to be wrong about it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't feel that I've been wrong on many. And that's kind of the concern that I have, because what we got going on now is, people are starting to talk about the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And they're going to buy, they're going to sell, this and that. My mindset on this is I've seen this too many times where there's going to be guys that are on your roster coming off injury, coming back around that time. And Bloom already is going to sell that as, well, this is their mid-season acquisitions.
Yeah.
We're getting
just like with Sale.
We're getting Houck back, maybe Sale. So there's no need to go do something,
Yeah, I think at like this point with where the team's at, there's no way they're going to add a rental.
No way.
I mean, obviously not.
No.
If they could add, the only way they're making a move where they're sending guys out for one key player is if they can get a young guy under control, fit the theme of the team. But in terms of selling, Jason and I talked about this on a podcast the other day, but yeah, you'll get something for Paxton, most definitely.
Right.
Unless you have the intention, because, you ideally sign an ace in the offseason. That way you don't need Paxton because you're going to have Bayo behind him, and you're hoping Whitlock and Houck can be starters, but you haven't seen a whole lot of good from them. The overall product for them has been below average, so can they be starters? So Paxton might be a guy that they want to keep here long term, or at least for a couple of years, because who knows if Cutter and Houck and Whitlock can start next year. And Duvall, you'll get probably something for. Nobody's trading for Kike Hernandez.
I think you own Kike. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And
and the clubhouse presence too. I think he's too much of a leader. As much as we like to pick on him and say, he sucks.
I think Martinez, all-star starter. That's too bad.
The voting's rigged, but like
Orlando Arcia,
he deserves it. Orlando Arcia does not deserve it.
That's kind of crazy. People didn't even think he would be some people didn't even think he'd be the Braves shortstop, and they replaced Swanson with an all-star. But yeah, I don't think I would keep Turner, because you trade him for a couple prospects who'll be up in 3 years, big deal, but then you need to go get a DH in the offseason again. Like, do you want to make another hole?
I will say the Turner thing, I was just kind of like, he's 38 or whatever, but I will say that I like Turner. I
do too. Yeah.
I like what he's done, and I like him as like when Jason just talked about Kike in the clubhouse aspect.
Yeah, definitely.
Turner is a very likable dude.
Yeah.
He's a good team guy. He's a positive guy. He's a total pro. So I mean, you gotta have a DH. So I wouldn't mind if he's one of the guys that they're gonna keep. Fine, I'm okay with that. They're not gonna go to market and spend crazy money on a DH anyway. So
yeah, the
market's very thin too next year.
Yeah,
you're not going to have anyone next year
for bats.
Like JD Martinez is the best bat, and you're not getting him back.
But there's no like DH is a totally different position from when it was years ago. You know, like people rotate the DH now. A guy in his night off in the field will DH.
Yeah,
like that.
I do think that. To me, this was like another bridge year. You're resetting the tax. I think they have to go out and get a pitcher. They have to spend big, whether it's Yamamoto from Japan or whether it's Julio Urias. They're going to get a pitcher and probably another bat. I think this team is trending upward for next year. So it's like, I think Turner can help you next year. I think Kenley Jansen and Chris Martin can help you next year. I also put out a tweet actually yesterday about this, and it's like, if Bloom is selling, why is he gonna hurt next year's team? You trade Kenley, you need a closer. You trade Turner, you need a DH. Why is he gonna hurt next year's team for some prospects just to make the next guy's job easier? You know, like at what point is he kind of playing job? Is he trying to protect his job a little bit? And he needs to make it easier on himself for the offseason.
I'll answer that question for you. If they trade Turner, if they trade all the 2-year guys, then that means they're waiting for Mayer to be competitive, right? Doesn't that signal that?
Yeah, you'd think, yeah.
And that's a stupid idea. Tom, we talk about this all the time. You can't bank on them, right? You can't bank on all these young guys. You said this too, Tom. The hope is to get maybe 2 guys out of like a bunch of 5 who fulfill half the expectation.
Correct.
If you're lucky.
This is like another thing. You're the Red Sox. You don't put off 2 seasons because you're waiting for one kid, you know? Like, this, you got to go out and play, and Bayo is just filthy. Is Bayo
doing something special right now?
But I'll say this much about the 2 years waiting. We've had Cassis jammed down our throats for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? And they decided to leave a black hole at first for basically 3 seasons waiting for this kid to get it.
And Hosmer didn't count. You know, he played.
And Hosmer didn't count, and Schwarber they let walk, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, you tell me what you think. From what you've seen of Tristan Cassis this season, is that something that was worth waiting for by leaving nothing at first for the 3 seasons?
Cassis is obviously trending upward, but I mean, no, like he's not a 3-win player right now. You know, like I think Dahlbeck gave them false hope in 2021. Right. You know, he was like, what were his numbers? Like he hit 250, whatever, but he almost hit 30 home runs.
He had that insane month of August and September.
Yeah, he almost he was 24 homers, 94 RBIs, and that was what was that? That was his rookie year, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that gave him false hope, and then he falls apart, and then you have nobody else there. You're playing Cadero there, Franchi Cadero.
Yeah, so the Franchi experiment and stuff. But it was always like, well, we can't go out and sign anyone because we have Cassis coming. And just from what I've seen from I'm like, this kid he's not ready yet. Like, this kid's not ready. And, you know, the mindset of Bloom in the front office now is like, well, he just needs some season and needs more time. It's like, you don't get time here. Like, you don't need it here. Have it set up so he's ready to come and play, and he's not ready to come and play. Like, defensively, I'm shocked at how poor he plays.
Yeah, the bat's trending upward, but defensively, it's been bad.
Yeah. Tom.
Yes.
It's 7:15. I think we're about to take a break. Thank you for joining. Any last words for us?
Yeah, no, I'm just like you guys. I'm hoping that show me a good summer, man. Don't ruin my summer. Give me competitive baseball going into the fall. And if they're competing, then I'll be a happy man because I didn't think they'd be that good. So give me something. What they're showing me recently, I'm not a fan of is all. So give me a good summer. Don't ruin my summer with no baseball. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, already.
All
Tom
right.
and Quincy,
Tom,
everyone,
thanks for joining.
go
All right,
follow him
guys.
on Twitter. Go
right,
follow
guys.
him on Twitter. We're gonna take 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Alrighty, welcome back to the Ball Blab live show. God dang it, Yoshida. So we got Braden Chevry. Braden, what's up?
How are we doing, guys? So far, great show. I mean, the production quality is fantastic.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for joining, dude.
I
Nice to meet you.
take full credit in that. No. So yeah, Bayo's doing something special right now. I'm not saying what he's doing, but he's pitching really well. I think you guys kind of know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Don't say it.
Speaking of good pitching, what did you think about last night, Domingo Germán?
I think that was the one Yankees pitcher who absolutely shouldn't have had the perfect game.
Yeah.
There's some things I'd say off stream, but since we're on stream, I want to be family friendly. But I think congrats. You threw a perfect game against the shittiest team in baseball. Congratulations.
One of the worst teams ever. Jason, can you send me the updated guest list, by the way?
Yeah, here.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
Braden,
what
we've
about you,
asked.
Brandon? What do you think?
What? Sorry, cut out.
What do you think about Domingo Germán, his perfect game?
Braden.
I watched some of the highlights. I got the MLB notification, turned it on and all that. I try to ignore the Yankees as much as possible as someone who has lived a long time in Boston. It's brutal going to school in New York because I'm just surrounded by Yankees fans. But no, it's
Yeah.
it's something that doesn't happen a lot. It's a lot more special than a no-hitter. And so it's great to see for the sport, especially in an offense-heavy league, but it's the Yankees, so I really don't care.
Yeah. Relatable. So thanks for telling me I'm going to have to face a lot of Yankee fans.
Yeah,
I'll be in a lot of fights.
Worse, but
I'll be in a lot of fights now that you say that.
oh yeah.
But I've asked all our guests this thus far, right? If you could use one word to describe the Red Sox this season that is not inconsistent, like not the word inconsistent, because everyone knows they've been inconsistent. What word would it be? We've had madness. I said expected. Jack, I forgot what you said.
I didn't answer today. I think I answered on the podcast, right?
You answered on the podcast.
Let me give you a new word. I'll give you a new word.
Braden, what word would it be?
I'd say annoying. The second they show promise, the floor, drops from underneath them. We expected a bottom of the division, given the division and the rosters in that division, which is saying a lot because I think this team can play some good baseball in stretches and especially, strategically they match up good against the rest of the division. It's just on paper, those big names aren't necessarily in Boston, but we, especially in the beginning of the year, we showed a lot of promise. And so that gave us false hope. And, with low expectations, high performance, we got a little greedy, and I'd say just annoying. Every time we believe, I'm scrolling on Twitter. One week it's like, oh, we're winning the World Series, and the next week it's like, yeah, I hate to watch this team.
Yeah.
I always say 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
I
might have to change that and say 1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Oh, I was gonna go 1 step forward, 1 step back, because it's like they win 2, and they win 4, then they lose 5, or they lose 4. But yeah, I'm gonna go, my words, like careless, because the defense has been careless. The effort at times too. I think the defense has kind of been, it's the MLB. and you don't expect defense to cost you really. And, sometimes it gets your pitcher out of a jam or two, but like it's really hurt this team.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the very least, you can make this season a success by not making the playoffs too, by developing these young guys and getting them experience. Although it might not be a win to some fans, if 2024 is scheduled in Bloom's calendar, I still have a hard time thinking like I still don't know if that's the plan because it could be 2025, right? But if 2024 is the year, right, you would look at 2023, and if they're competitive in 24, you're going to look at 23 like, okay, these guys got some major league time. These young pitchers are developing. This rotation is actually a bright spot.
Yeah.
And they're going to be dominant in the future.
Yeah.
So I think the deadline is going to dictate more about the direction of the team.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that, even though we're in a bad spot, I know you guys are the hosts and should be asking the questions, but do you think we're buying at the deadline?
How dare you? I think we're not buying personally because you got to look at where you are. You're not going to get a rental. That's just stupid. If you're going to get anyone, it's going to be someone with years of control and someone who's going to help you in 2024. Okay. And another reason you're not going to buy is because you have Trevor Story coming back, who provides power on the right side, and he also provides speed, which the Red Sox have lacked in years
Defense,
past.
hopefully defense.
Defense at shortstop, and just the middle infield, right? And you got Chris Sale, right? Positive news today that he feels good and he's building up again. They're going to be less inclined with those reinforcements coming to make a big splash. I think the big splash was never in the question either.
Yeah, unless the only way the big splash would be a possibility is if they were in at least fourth, but probably third. If you're in fifth place, you're not going to go trade. Definitely not for a rental, unless it's like a buy sell kind of theme where you're getting Tommy Pham and Reese McGuire, but you're getting rid of Christian Vasquez. That's what I expect, a kind of buy sell. But there's no way this team is making a big move at one of the big guys available because they're obviously not in the position to. You're below 500. So, yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I think you'll probably see Paxton, but Duvall, I don't see why they would keep Duvall. You can let Duran play more, and he's on an expiring deal, so get Duran his reps. Nobody's taking Kike Hernandez or Corey Kluber off your hands. So it's Paxton and Duvall are the big two.
I don't think you see Corey Kluber pitch again this year, just because he's on a phantom IL stint. Like we all know that, right?
Yeah, right.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna put his rehab. He's gonna rehab in a couple weeks. Then he's gonna have a setback. They're gonna put him on the 60-day. Then they're gonna shut him down. He's gonna suck in his rehab and then shut him down and put him on the 60. That's what's gonna happen. And they might want the roster spot.
Yeah.
I don't know, Braden. What do you think about the whole trade deadline?
I think the team is significantly worse without Ryan Brazier. I mean that's just that's what screwed our season over. But no, I think Boston fans, we like to overreact, and yes, while under 500 isn't great, this team is overperformed, I think, due to day one expectations. But again, I'd agree with you guys in saying that a rental doesn't make sense. We got to figure out really who's going to be making those moves next year in terms of the front office. Is that going to stay a thing, or are the Boston tweeters going to win and have Bloom's head? But no, I'd agree. There are no big names that stick out that say, oh, they're coming to Boston. But at the same time, it is a good destination with a good future. So if a veteran wants to stick it out 2-3 years to make a good run, we could see that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Come on, Bale. Bale's got to strike him out. This is a pesky plate appearance right here.
Yeah, and we don't want to talk about it, but he's only got 15 outs and almost 80 pitches. So, this is not going to be. There it is. Dude, it's every time. It's 86, low in the zone, unless that one gets away from him. But what I put out, I got some numbers earlier from his changeup, dude. It is just so good.
He's been
29.
he's been a very pleasant surprise this year.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance he gets an all-star nod.
Yeah.
No,
Not a
I don't
great
know. I
chance,
don't
but
think
definitely
so.
a chance.
I mean, yeah, there is a chance. I don't think he will.
I mean, dude, in a second, his ERA is going to be in the 2s. That's pretty impressive. So, yeah, his changeup, 0 home runs, batting average of 190.
Knock on wood, bro.
Batting average of 197, slugging of 230, 44% whiff, 25% put away percentage. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's a dirty pitch. But, yeah, I mean, any second now, that ERA is below 2.
How do you not swing at that pitch?
Yeah,
His slider's gross. His changeup gross.
His sliders, hitters have
When
liked
placed
it.
correctly.
What do you guys think about, the Cora, Bush, Fatsy staff?
Get him out of here.
Really?
I mean, I Cora up in the air,
Yeah.
The guys like him a lot. The players love him, but
Because he's a player's manager.
like, for example, Dave Bush, for the
I'd
first half
agree.
of this season.
Yeah. I'd agree Bush might be something to think about, but I have no doubt Cora should be staying.
Yeah, I think, like, in terms of Bush, there's no way Whitlock and Houck are this level of pitchers. Like, they have not – they definitely haven't been maximized. And, some pitchers leave and get better. Eduardo Rodriguez, Nathan Eovaldi, Michael Wacha, even Rich Hills. He's kind of steadied the course. But, like, teams have been able to get more from our guys than we have. That's definitely something you don't want to just ignore.
Wow. Okay. 6 innings.
There it is.
6 innings.
Yeah. I mean, what's the pitch count? Let me look. 80,
but the score's 0-0. That's what scares me a little bit more.
83. Yeah. Ooh, 83.
He's got 2 innings at most, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but we'll see how those 2 innings go. He can throw a couple extra pitches to, maybe make some history or something. But they gotta get these bats going because Jesus Luzardo looks pretty good. So,
Braden, we're running out of time here with you.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else you want to say to the live stream?
Fantastic job out of you two. Thank you for having me on. I think this team is annoying. So I tip my hat to you guys for sticking with them so passionately. The positive and negative passion out of, the beloved Boston fans. But no, I owe you guys, a night out at the ballpark over this summer. So hopefully I'll see you guys there soon.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to
Thanks
it.
for joining.
Yeah, it's on video. I got to do it now.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have to. I'll use your words against you in the fall if you don't live up to that. Alrighty, Braden Chevry, everyone, go follow him on Twitter. Go listen to After the Horn hockey podcast. And we're gonna take 30 seconds.
Podcast. I'm gonna have to listen to that with some Bruins.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Habs suck. Just kidding. I'm just.
No, that's not true. Now you're telling lies. How'd the Bruins do anyway?
Oh, okay. Alrighty, 30 seconds. We'll be back.
See ya.
All right.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Ball Blab official live show. We got a special guest right here, Jake Ignazuski, with DraftKings right now, and he's the host of Iggy Sports Talk. Jake, I think, are you still at the Portland Sea Dogs game? How you doing? Jake, you're muted, buddy.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you.
Bad. Appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, I'm still at the Sea Dogs Fish Cats game. Decided to get out of the ballpark, and I'm on these stairs over here, so then you guys don't hear the announcements of the music or anything like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the time there. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and the game. Um, just a quick thought. The Red Sox game, it's 0-0. I don't know if you saw, but we've asked everyone so far this question. If you could describe the Red Sox season in one word, excluding the word inconsistent,
Yeah.
what word would you choose?
I would say I don't know if this is one word, but injury riddled. Um, maybe that's 2 words, but maybe if you put the little dash, you can make it into one word. But I think we've seen sort of what we expected thus far out of this team in terms of performance-wise, but especially with all the injuries that, especially the rotation has incurred, it's really tough to get any sort of consistency. And anytime they've had a winning stretch, different guys like Sale, Paxton have gone down, and we've had to see some spot starts from, Caleb Ort, even Matt Dermody, obviously, and then, Brandon Walter coming up to make his major league debut. And especially when you're put in those types of situations, it's tough to rely on the team to win consistent ball games. And it's nice to be able to see some of the future, but at the same time, it really makes it tough to,
Definitely.
I guess, expect those guys to live up to those expectations so quickly with having no experience in the majors.
Yeah, good point. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest injuries is Jesus. He just got drilled. JT just got drilled by that pitch. Jesus.
I saw Bayo. I saw a tweet they threw 5 no-hit innings and that he's been
6.
scrubbing. I haven't seen really any of the other parts of the game.
Yeah, he's been very good thus far. He's been a lot of the swing and misses coming to life in the late innings. I think he struck out a batter to end the inning. No, it was with 1 out actually. But yeah, going to your
swings
point.
and misses with the changeup as always. Oh, Wong.
No, he got the end of the bat.
Yeah, end of the bat.
But yeah, Jake, to your point, yeah, injury riddled is definitely. I'll count that as a word. Yeah,
So,
has
Jake,
the dash.
You're covering the Sea Dogs right now?
Yeah, I'm covering the Sea Dogs. Right when I left, Marcelo Meyer, I ended up grounding out. We saw Nick York get a walk. I actually got to talk to Marcelo before the game. Way taller than I expected, to be quite honest with you. But really level-headed kid, and really nice as well. And what's cool too is I've talked to a lot of different prospects, and a lot of them are so focused on the game of baseball, obviously, because that's their profession. But Marcelo, especially with how young he is, it's cool to see him already starting to understand that you got to have an identity outside of the game, and you can't put all your stock into being a professional baseball player. Then once failure comes along, then you're not going to be able to handle it. So he's definitely a very level-headed type of guy.
Awesome. Yeah, he had to watch a tough game the other night. You guys saw he was in Fenway for the Whitlock start.
I was at that same game. Yeah, that was an awful game. I actually said to him, I didn't put it in the interview, but I said to him that I saw he was at the game. I'm like, sorry they didn't show up for you. He's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for the Sea Dogs. Definitely that middle infield. Any pitchers been sticking out to you recently?
Not really. Mainly a lot of the guys who are on the top prospect list. Obviously Drohan was the one guy that was really shoving down here.
Yeah.
Outside of that, nobody really in particular. But like you said, that infield has so much talent at it. Benelis at third base, Nico Gavadas at first, and then obviously York and Meyer up the middle. But the one thing that honestly really surprised me is Marcelo was the only guy in terms of their pregame fielding practice that was at shortstop. Now Christian Koss was the only other guy that could play shortstop in Portland, but I was just surprised that there was nobody else that was at that position with him, and it really just shows that that's his position, and they're wanting to give him as many reps as possible. The one thing that I did think was funny, and I actually posted the video on Twitter, but he mentioned how he emulated Derek Jeter and looked up to him a lot. And I asked him if he ever did, sort of the shortstop Derek Jeter sort of play that everybody knows of, where you're going off of 1 foot and throwing it to first base. And actually in pregame sort of fielding, he did that play exactly and tripped a little bit. And I joked with him a little bit. I'm like, oh, he's already starting to show off. You can do that Jeter impression. He's like, you already know it. So it's cool to see him having fun down here.
Would you have expected York to maybe take some reps at short in warm-ups?
So, I mean, I've only heard of him really being a second baseman.
Right.
I'm surprised that, they haven't tried him over there.
Yeah.
One
You
thing,
see prospects moved around. Yeah.
one thing that, is when I saw the Sea Dogs a month and a half or so ago, it was really interesting because they had Cedon Rafaela taking some reps at shortstop. And Emma Tiedemann, their play-by-play broadcaster, brought up that, he's been getting a lot of work in at least once or twice a week at shortstop. And she actually told me this afternoon, she's like, one of my hot takes is if they call him up, later on in the year, they're going to probably primarily, or she guesses that, they could primarily see him at shortstop and then get him some time in center field. But I was like, damn, that's a pretty good hot take. I would like to see him get some work over there and see what he's got.
Yeah, hotcakes for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. His glove is very good in center, right? Has he gotten any reps in the infield?
Yeah, so Rafael actually, interestingly enough, came up as an infielder, and
right.
last year was his first year in center field, and I talked to him last year in Portland, and I asked him, we're seeing all these acrobatic catches in center field, and this is your first year. How did you get so comfortable out there? And he actually attributed it to, just tracking balls in BP. Now, I mean, he's making some pretty damn impressive plays from just, tracking balls in BP. But, he, like I said, he made one or two starts each week while he was down here at shortstop. Now, I don't think that that's going to be the case up in Worcester with the amount of middle infielders that they have up there. But would like to see him continue to get some practice and continue to evolve his versatility as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about Rafaela right now. I mean, what do you get out of his approach to the plate? Because I think that was a lot of why he started the year in Double-A. Because there's a lot of speculation that Rafaela out of spring training was going to start the year in Triple-A, but they wanted to see, from what I understand, they wanted to see a better approach from him because his hand-eye coordination is insane and he'll make contact on a lot of pitches. With that being said, he'll swing at everything. What a pitch by Bayo. He'll swing and miss at everything. Yeah, that changeup we were talking about. But back to Rafaela for a second. Have you seen a better approach from Rafaela in these right before he got promoted to AAA?
So the only time I saw him play in person was last year. But from what Emma Tiedemann said, she pretty much said exactly what you said, that we've seen a lot more plate discipline from him, a lot more, relaxed approach rather than going up there super aggressive, trying to, hit the hell out of the baseball. Now, the one thing that was really hurting him last year was balls up in the zone, mainly fastballs. He was swinging at a lot of those. But I think what you've seen from the stats is that we're seeing a lot more walks, we're seeing a lot more base hits, and a lot less strikeouts than they did last year. So I think that plate discipline is definitely improved this year compared to last. But, the real test is what is he going to be able to do up in Worcester? Because that's when you're going up against some of those older pitchers and more experienced pitchers as well.
Right. Jake, could I put you on the spot? This might be a bit of a tough question, but Meyer, you're seeing him play in Portland, and obviously he had a quick promotion there. It might have been, was it the quickest ever to get to Double-A in the Sox system? It was something crazy like that, right?
I believe he's the youngest player on the Sea Dogs right now.
Right.
Might be the youngest in Double-A. I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah. So
it was a very quick call out.
So he got there quickly, and you see top prospects like, so Bayo's hit list through 7. Yeah, sorry. So you see, Benintendi, I'm pretty sure went Double-A to majors. I think Devers did too. Do you think Meyer could, finishing strong, maybe getting a promotion to AAA Worcester sometime at the end of this year, but even if he doesn't, do you think he can, with a strong spring training next year, be this team's starting shortstop next season in 2024 on opening day?
I think, honestly, that's a little bit of a stretch. From what we've heard from Bloom, not even specifically talking about Meyer, he looks at AAA as a really important developmental stage. Yeah. And I honestly think, it's realistically, looking at next July, next September is probably when he'll be caught up. Now, I think I would like to see him, as comfortably as a Red Sox fan, I would like to see him finish the season in Portland and see him get a good amount of reps in AA, and then start the season in AAA. I'd be very surprised if we see him start the season in Portland, sort of like we saw with Rafaela next year. And I think it would be tough to see him get sort of the jump like we've seen with Benintendi from AA through the majors. And the one thing that you really got to think of is he's still only 20, and so going into next year, I don't know his birthday exactly, but he'll be 21 next year, and so I think that's the most realistic time when we'll see him come up. But I think the glove is there. It's really just being able to put in consistently good up at bats and really being able to help him continue to develop as well. And I mentioned he's much taller than I expected, but I bet most people want to see him fill in a little bit more in terms of his weight.
Yeah, no surprise. How is the pop in his bat, even maybe being a little bit underdeveloped physically?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good to see his power so far in Portland. I think he's hit 2 home runs so far. And, even in BP, it was interesting. It's always interesting to see minor league guys go through BP. Some of the more mature ones will, focus on different aspects of their game or, try and hit the different parts of the field. And then you sometimes see most of the younger guys just try and hit home runs. But you saw Meyer, for the most part, during his BP, work on different parts of the field. And then, in the later half, he's like, all right, let's see if I can pull the ball over the right field fence. And he did that a few times pretty effortlessly. So he can turn it on when he wants to.
Awesome. I like it. It's good news.
Yeah, one of my final questions to you is, do you think we could see Nick York promoted to AAA anytime soon, as in the next maybe month or so before the end of the season?
I think we could see him get called up in the last month or two. It's just so interesting with how many middle infield prospects the Red Sox do have right now. I'm really curious to see how they go all about that. It's nice with Fitzgerald that you're able to move him around, and Hamilton, David Hamilton, they started to put him in center field a little bit more. But I think, especially with what we've seen from York so far this season, a massive change in what we saw compared to last year, really improved in terms of his plate approach, really looking like his 2021 self that we all sort of fell in love with. But I think it would be really beneficial in his development to give him a little bit of a glimpse in AAA to end the season.
Love it.
Yeah. So Jake, we're running out of time with you. Is there anything else you would like to say? I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No problem at all, guys. The last thing that I want to say is I think that there's a lot of negativity surrounding the Boston Red Sox at the moment, and I honestly think that it's a lot of overreaction and a lot of irrational sort of takes. I think what we're seeing from this team is exactly what we expected. I don't know why we're trying to sugarcoat it to be more than what anybody expected. And I brought this up a few weeks ago. The last place sort of take, that's such BS. I really think it's so stupid. If you put this Red Sox team in any other division, they'd be second or third place. And so I think that's just an easy way for people to say that this team sucks. Now, are they going to make the playoffs? It's a really slim chance. Are they going to win the World Series? I think you're getting to about 0% very soon. But this is sort of just see what you got at this point. And I feel like, especially with what their record has showed with the amount of injuries that they have had, they're playing much better than I think anybody would have expected with what the roster currently is at this moment in time. And I think you just got to be excited to what is down here in the farm and got to start looking forward to 2024, 2025. And if you still think that this team, is going to make the playoffs and is going to win a World Series, all the power to you. But at this moment in time, I think it's just ready to start getting excited for next year.
Alrighty, Jake. Thank you for your time. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. It always is. Go follow Jake on social media. And yeah, we're going to take 30 seconds. We'll be back.
Thank you, Jake.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ball Blab official live show. My name is Jason, Jack, my co-host, and we got two special guests, not one, but two. I'll start with Michael, host of the Master Plan there. Linus Olmark Enjoyer on Twitter. And then we have Joey Capone, host of the ITM podcast, and currently has #1newknee. So, guys, welcome.
Thank you, man.
For having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so quick note right here. Bayo's doing something special. We're going to leave it at that, okay? You got it? Alrighty. So, we've asked everyone so far this question, and I'll start with you, Michael. If you could describe the Red Sox this season so far in one word, other than the word inconsistent, what word would it be?
I would have to go with exhausting. Listen, I teach tennis all day long to young kids, and easily the most stressful and like tiring part of my day is coming home and having to watch this team play, because every night it's the same thing. And you're always waiting for that other shoe to fall, whether it's the starter, the bullpen, someone getting injured. I mean, you watch Tanner Houck have a nice performance and then he gets hit in the face. So this team, it's, year after year, but this year it just feels like I just want the season to be over for us. I'm just kind of ready to move on to next year.
What about you, Joey?
You said besides inconsistent?
Yes.
Ugly? Is that too far?
No?
It's gross. I mean, the defense is frustrating. I'm amazed there's still hair on my head. I am yanking it out every game, man. It is really tough to watch. There's also guys who at the plate are so frustrating and ugly to watch. There's more frustration to come from some BABIP luck from some guys who should be better. There's a lot of how do I dance around inconsistency in the lineup. It's like they're all on or they're all off. And even right now, while Bayo is doing something special, the Red Sox also have one hit through 7 innings. Is it 2 now?
I think it's 3 now. Yeah.
3 now.
But
wow.
One hit through 6, yeah.
Yeah, 1 hit through 6 innings. So, I mean, that just goes to show you, even when, a starter shows up, that the offense can't get it done. It's ugly. If frustrating is a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
This team at the beginning of the year had so many question marks. And I think the more hopeful of us said, like, wait and see. There's a lot of question marks. We got to wait and figure it out. I just realized we're all wearing red shirts. Check that out. And those question marks have all kind of turned out to be answered in the negative. Like one after another after another.
Yeah. And adding on to what you said, my word was expected, because I'm like, look, you're asking for a lot out of these players, and oh God, you're asking a lot out of the rotation. You're asking a lot out of Kike Hernandez at shortstop. A lot of it was the stars need to align perfectly, right, in order for the Red Sox to be a competitive team throughout the year.
Yeah.
Jack, if you want to add on, go ahead.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I said.
Similar to what you said, Joey. I said careless because it's all for the same reason as it is ugly. It's the defense. I mean, you never expect in baseball a defense to kind of win you games. Maybe it's going to get your pitcher out of a jam or two, but it's cost the Red Sox games, and it's been terrible. And then some of the at-bats, like Arroyo here, I mean, I don't want to say this inning's over. Christian Arroyo's up. This inning's over. The guys I swear, Christian Arroyo thinks there's only 3 pitches at every at-bat. I've never seen him get to the 4th or 5th pitch. I mean, seriously, it's Christian Arroyo. And so, yeah, careless, ugly, whatever it is, yeah.
I mean, as I watched this,
there it is. There's the ground ball.
Oh yeah,
and that's
there it is.
Was the double play?
No, it wasn't.
That's 2 outs.
That's how you kill a rally, though.
Or 2 outs. It would have been a double. I think with the Red Sox before the season, I'm not necessarily the eternal pessimist, but I was definitely less confident than I think many in the Red Sox Twitterverse. I had them at 73 wins, a prediction which halfway through the season I'm going to proudly stand by, and I'm going to stick with it. I think at this point in the season, like, it's time to sell high on Paxton, I think you take a look at Kenley Jansen, you take a look at Chris Martin, and you pick one of them to go. And I think that's probably Jansen. Not because I don't like him. I think he's fantastic, but he's such a trade asset right now. I mean, some team out there is going to want an elite closer, which he's been. And, there are a couple other guys which I would take a look at who are very solid players. Like Alex Verdugo is an incredible player. I love him as a Red Sox player. But at the end of the day, how much does he move the needle for the Red Sox? I don't know. So I think that I think we're definitely should be sellers. I think that, if I'm Heim right now, I'm saying, okay, can I give Otani $600 million over the offseason? Because that, I think, is a move that would change the Red Sox fundamentally, because we just don't have a hitter right now who I'm going to say, outside of maybe Yoshida and Turner, who are playing very well right now, who I think can dynamically change the game. We just don't have that. We have, some guys on and off, but Tristan Casas is hitting like 215 this season, which is, it's just not good enough. And, this is his first full year in the MLB. Okay. But we definitely expected more. So a lot of concerns with the Red Sox. I think it's time to close the book on this season, like on aspirations, because even if we turn the light on in the second half, what's going to happen? We're going to win 90 games and lose in a wild card round. I'm not interested in seeing that. So I'd rather say, hey, let's start playing for next season and keep the tickets at the ballpark really, really cheap, because I'd love to go to some more Red Sox games personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Joey, what about yourself? How do you view the team treating the trade deadline? Sorry.
Yeah,
This is a great time. This is a great time for me to tell you that my stream is behind your guys's. So whatever went on, I'm sure it was good. I'm sure Bayo's no-hitter is still alive.
It is.
Yeah, okay. In my world, it is. So let me live in that. I'm not sure what they're going to do at the trade deadline. Heim has been pretty open that it's dependent on how they play, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I don't think that he's blowing smoke when he says that, because, oh, God, what a throw.
Right
on. If you're trying to hit second base, that would have been a great throw, Kike. Wow, it's almost like he's not a shortstop.
It's almost like he's not a shortstop.
It looks like he's really not a shortstop at all, but he sure acts like it off the field. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the trade deadline. I think Heim is being honest when he says that it depends on what the team does from here, because as much as injuries are going to get you, oh, is your elbow hurt? Sorry. I'm half watching the game here too. As much as you've had injuries that have hurt you, and you've had some unexpected things, some guys have taken longer to get back than you might have expected, some freak injuries. You also, even with a dinged up lineup, shouldn't be losing series to the Colorado Rockies. You shouldn't be splitting with the Twins after winning the first two. There are still performance-based problems that are not that don't fall on Heim. So if they, in the next 5 weeks, turn it around big time, I could see him maybe adding, but I really just don't believe that he's ever going to be a guy who full in buys or full in sells. I think he's always going to try to walk the middle line, and that's unsexy, and it doesn't make for great headlines. It's confusing, but I think that's just the way he is. I don't see them making a major splash. I don't think a major splash is even really possible. There's no 1 or 2 acquisitions outside of, the most unrealistic of acquisitions that would make any fan be like, hell yeah, now we go. Now we're here. Let's go. World Series, here we come. Like, there's just no reality like that. But as far as sneaking in, if you can do that, if you get 90 wins and you sneak in, like, people do forget that the 2021 run that we all loved, they made in game 162. Like, that was not a team that was destined for the postseason. That's a team that snuck in and then got 2 games away from going to the World Series.
That's right. Yeah. They got
so it's a matter of getting in. But does inconsistency get you in? No. So I don't really know I don't really know what it would take. I think it would have to show some long consistency. It would have to take, like I said, 4 or 5 weeks of strong consistency that I
Right.
wouldn't personally bet on.
Yeah, and I think for them to make any sort of big move, you'd have to be in at least fourth, but maybe third place. And, it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. And I don't think I personally, Jason and I have talked about this a lot, but the 2-year guys, Turner, Kenley, Martin, I don't see why you trade Turner because then you just have to go get a DH in the offseason. I don't see why you trade Kenley because then you just have to go get a closer in the offseason if you want to be competitive for 2024, which I think this team is set up to be. So for me, I don't like the idea of getting rid of the 2-year guys, but whether it's Paxton, Duvall, Kike's not going anywhere, neither is Kluber, but Paxton, Duvall, sell high on those guys. A team would love to pick up a Duvall, the power bat, has the experience there, can play the outfield well, and obviously Paxton's been shoving. So, yeah, those guys will have some value. Jason, you have
I'll add on to it. Joey, that it's a good point because I think even if the Red Sox do turn it around, they do start winning games. You have a guy named Trevor Story coming back, who's going to be your trade deadline acquisition. You got him for nothing, right? He provides power on the right side, speed, defense at short if he makes the full recovery. And there are guys on the market, although, like you kind of mentioned, like pipe dreams, other teams are going to be bidding. And do you really want to go in and start bidding with teams who are desperate? Like a team like the Angels are going to be desperate. A team like, I don't know, the Dodgers are probably going to buy. Teams that are in it are going to buy, and they're going to start bidding. So that's my take.
And the one way to beat the market there, real quick, just the last thought here. The one way to beat the market in doing that is to make those deals early, which would be right now. But unfortunately for Heim, the team has left him in a position where it would be irresponsible of him to be buying right now. If they were 4, 5, 6 wins better than they are right now, then make that early push. He was talking about how all 30 clubs want starting pitching. Great. Be the first there. Early bird gets the worm. But you don't have the luxury of doing that when your team can turn around and just lose 7 games in a row and then make that selling or that buying worth nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, guys, we're running out of time. Michael, I'll start with you. Any last thoughts as we wrap up here with you guys?
Go Pirates, baby. Go Pirates. I'm rooting for them for the rest of the season. I'm just going to focus on Brian.
They're not looking too hot either after.
You know what? They won today. They won yesterday. The City Connect jerseys look awesome. I love the Red Sox, but this is the first time I can actually be proud to be a Pirates fan in 8 years. So 10 years, really. So,
Joey?
Sox kind of stink, huh?
I'd say so.
This is the first series I'm willing to say stink. I've been saving stink. It's been in my chamber for a bit, so I'll drop it. Sox stink.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Hopefully Martin can do something here to get us out of the jam, as he is one of our, few, I would say, elite players. And we'll see. But yeah, I'm with you. They are a very kind of depressing team, honestly.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, guys, thank you again for joining. Go follow them on Twitter, Linus Allmark Enjoyer and Joey Capone. And we're going to take 30 seconds. Thank you guys again. We'll take a break.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Oh, good to see you both. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, Nate. How's it going?
It's going well. Going pretty well.
Yeah, it was going well for me too, but we're really about to mess up this gem from Bayo, and I'm just in the least bit surprised.
Me neither. It's kind of funny. No hits at all. What are they giving up 4 straight now?
Jason, you there? Oh, okay, good. What'd you say, Nate? Sorry.
There we go. Sorry.
I'm
got
just
my-
saying, like it's incredible. No hits at all. And what do they have 4 straight now? I think 3 or 4.
Oh yeah. Good
Okay,
play,
wait a minute.
Devers.
Could this
God.
be a 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
They're not going to score anything.
That's huge. That's huge. That is so huge.
What a good play by Devers and Wong and Turner all the way around. What, Jason? What's that score there? Score
5,
that
2,
play,
3.
what?
5, 2, 3.
5,
Because
2,
it's-
3.
Because it's Devers, the third baseman, then Wong, the second baseman, then
Catcher.
Turner, the first baseman. I don't think the pitcher did the pitcher do anything?
No, catcher.
No, I don't
catcher.
think so.
Yeah, catcher.
So 5, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
5, 2, 3. So yeah, what a play! The Red Sox make a play.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, there you go. That's you don't see that all every day, huh? 5, 2,
Mhm.
3. I'll take it.
You
though.
know what sucks?
What?
Bayo might take the loss here.
Yeah. You saw Cotillo's tweet.
Yep.
If he oh my gosh, this team. If he gets a loss, like every single position player, I don't even know what. Like every single position player has to, I don't know, get benched tomorrow or something. Give the guy $10,000 or something. I don't know, because this is pathetic.
I don't know. Maybe just
A rise, intentional walk. I like it, but Soler has legit power. I'd be careful here.
yeah. I mean,
Everything outside.
I mean, if this backfires, like it'll go. If your biggest fear is realized, Jack, that'd be a big time problem.
Yeah.
And he made Cora look stupid because Arise is not a home run hitter. We know that well. He's an Ichiro guy.
Yeah, right. The only problem is like guy on third. There's a 40% chance the guy's gonna get a hit. Base hit's gonna get him home.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I don't know. There we go. That's a good pitch. Wait, what didn't you know?
That was I didn't know that when the guy's on third, there's a 40% chance.
Oh no! Like
they're at
Luis. No. Luis Arise in particular.
Oh yeah,
Because
Luis.
he's
Oh
hitting
yeah.
400.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here we go, Martin. Let's go. Put away pitch now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Man, you guys are ahead of me.
That's-
You guys
that's
are so ahead of me. I gotta fix my
very
TV.
Good work from Martin out of the
I
bullpen.
gotta
Honestly,
fix
the
my
So-
TV.
So Nate, we've asked everyone else this question, and
Okay.
it's going to make sense if we ask you. If you could use one word to describe the Red Sox thus far, up to this point, without using the word inconsistent, what one word would you use to describe them?
Annoying. Flat
Yeah.
out, man.
Yeah.
Maybe
You know
another
that,
word would be mid, but they're mid in the most annoying way. Where who is that Capone that you were talking to? Was he a Twitter guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he said that it's hard to try and buy or push early with a team like this. I don't know if this is exactly what he said, but I remember him saying it's hard to buy with a team. I think he said it's hard to buy with a team like this when they can just turn around and lose 7 straight after winning.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
absolutely.
That was such a good point.
Yeah,
And I was
basically-
thinking to myself, I agree with everything this guy said.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if the Sox somehow, jumped into third place, let's say the Yankees and the Blue Jays both had just a terrible 10-day stretch, and you have great 2 weeks. You go, I don't know, say 10-2, and you're in third place now. Well, the trend and patterns of this team would say they're going to lose back that 8-game win stretch, or they win 10 but you profit 8 games. They're going to lose that in the next week, so there's absolutely no way that they make some Steve Pierce splash. Obviously not, they're not in that position, but yeah, I mean, it is what
Nate,
it is, and it's the team that we knew we were going to get.
You always bring up 1 step forward, 2 steps back, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. They've won 6 in a row, and now they've lost 6 of 7. If they lose today, that will be 7 of 8 and 5 in a row. Their longest losing streak all season.
Yeah, and I'm considering going 1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah, I mean, at least you have. I said it with Joey and Michael on, but at least you have, an elite setup guy like Chris Martin who can come in. I mean, that's great work. Runners on the corners with no outs, and you only let one in. Even
Very
after
good work.
the first guy he faced was a
Bases.
hit.
Wait a minute. I think they technically did. I think they technically didn't score with the bases loaded, no one out, because of the 5-2-3, and then he got the next guy.
Yeah.
That's incredible. He pulled a
God
Houdini
dang it.
there.
Oh,
Wait a minute. Is that off the glove?
There we go.
Okay.
but I mean, but we
Of course,
always
that's the only
say
way Kike Hernandez is going to reach base. You think he's going to get a base hit, dude? Forget it. Just trying to hit it at somebody and hope they mess up.
that guy, Nate. We play Strato all the time. That guy, Kike Hernandez, is gonna have 3 Omegas, and they're all gonna be on hits.
Wait, Jack. Jack, do you know what Stratomatic baseball is?
Say it again.
Do you know what Stratomatic baseball is?
I don't know.
Oh, I think you'd love it. I think you would love it. Basically, it's
play.
a board game. Yeah, we got like you got. Maybe he gets a copy, or have you guys been to each other's houses? I was like, Jack, have you been to Jason's? Jason, have you been to Jack's?
He dropped me off to my house after we went to a Sox game, but that's really all.
Okay,
Good move.
Yeah.
Good move by Cora. Putting
Yeah,
in
David
Jason
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah, because Kike.
He's gonna steal, but it's gonna be hard because he's a lefty.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
What the fuck are you doing?
No!
you
Are you
serious?
kidding me?
What the hell is he doing?
Did
Connor
you not
Wong.
practice bunting and BP before the game? I mean, come on.
There's something wrong with him.
He cannot hit. I mean, Dave O'Brien was literally saying earlier the strikeouts continue to pile up. I mean, that's just awful.
Wong
That
had
is
that stretch.
awful.
Remember Wong had that 2 home run night and then that double too. That was almost a home run. So he basically hit 3 home runs in one night. He used that night to stat pad. Ever since then, the guy, the defense is there. But my gosh, who strikes out more, him or Bobby Dahlbeck?
Probably.
Are you talking about
Wong.
how often?
I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Oh my God, is Bobby Dahlbeck still with a major league team, or did he get sent back down?
He got sent back down with the bereavement.
That's hilarious. I actually saw the game where he actually was in the starting lineup because it was a lefty, all right? And they had a lefty opener. He comes up to face the lefty, strikes out. Then they put in the righty, and then Casas immediately pinch hits for him. See you later, goodbye.
Yeah. So looking at it right now, our young guys strike out a lot. Casas 69, but Duran and Wong each have 65 strikeouts, and that's okay. So Wong has 65 strikeouts in 60 games. Duran 65 in 61 games. That's bad. That's really bad. Is at least less than 1 a game, but
well, at least Duran has speed, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Casas can walk.
It's hard to get mad at Wong for his hitting, at least because the guy has power, and he can pull the ball pretty well, but he's a catcher, so whether he's bunting like he just did or striking out, the guy's throwing out more than half the guys at second. So how mad can I really be? He's a great
I don't know.
He's a good catcher.
I think he's good because I don't know.
Oh my god,
Jack, you're the stats nerd, but I'm thinking I don't think he's a very good framer. I don't think he frames the ball particularly well, just from the eye test. Maybe maybe there's some stat I'm missing, but I
no,
think
you're right.
framing's
He's
an
actually a
important part.
terrible framer. He's in the 8th percentile of framing, I think.
Wow, that's awful. Then
Maybe
I think that
now, but
I think it brings him. Yeah, then I don't. I think he's a good defensive catcher and an awful hitter.
Yeah, I mean overall, I think his defensive WAR amongst all catchers, he's like third. I want to say
third. Wow,
Moreno is really good defensively. The Diamondbacks catcher,
but his WXO bacon, egg, and cheese is like 20 million.
yeah. But his hitting, there's power, and he gets your 250 is an average batting average hitter.
He's hitting well below that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's got 230s now. I think. Yeah.
I think he's in the 220s.
220s.
I think
What's
he's
the OPS
225
now? Let me take a look at the OPS.
The OPS
probably around 600.
I don't think he walks that much, so I think it's probably
he's not around 600.
Wong's on base is probably 40 points higher than his.
That's pretty bad.
Before today, wow, yeah, his OPS is 697, and it's gone
nice.
down.
697 is a lot higher than I thought it'd be.
It was 750 for a while, but I mean,
I guess
You
he
look
walks
yeah.
more than I thought.
In fact,
Oh yeah,
let me
Nate.
look at it.
Guess
Let me
who
look
made
at
the
it right
All-Star team for the NL as designated hitter?
Yeah.
JD Martinez.
I wonder. You know,
He's gonna get
I'm-
back spasms and get scratched.
that'd be great, but like I don't know. I'm not someone who feels strong about the All-Star game. Maybe that's to our detriment because like I don't know. Alex Spear was saying last night that like Red Sox fans like don't really like go crazy with voting for all their players when it
Yeah,
comes to
I'm
the
with
All-Star
you.
game.
The fan voting takes away some of its validity. So I have it right here. Moreno, I was right. He's first in defensive WAR, and Wong's second, just 0.1 below him. So
Okay.
dang, that sucks.
Okay, then maybe he is a great defense. Maybe he is a
Yeah,
great
so
defensive
I mean-
catcher. I guess
Elite
throwing's
defender.
probably more important than framing.
Yeah, the framing. Although he definitely can grab more strikes, but you look at the arm, and I think he's probably a pretty good blocker if it translates that well. But if he can be just an average hitter and that good of a defender, I'll take it. But he's got to stop striking out so much. I mean,
Yeah, he's
bad.
a significantly below average hitter. I mean, he look. I feel like he looks lost out there. Just
but
watching
if
him.
he can, I mean, I guess I'm surprised he's below 700 OPS now. But if he can be like a 725 OPS guy, I'll take that. That's like league average,
Would you say that? What would you say the OPS plus is like 100, 102 for a
League
720?
average is about 100, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, league average is 100, but like
What would I take from?
it also
Wong?
weighs
I'll
in
take
like
100.
ballpark factors. But it's a good stat.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Nate, you can stay on for another 15 minutes. We got our next
thanks,
guest
man.
waiting. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Nate, good to have you, man. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ball Blab live show. My name is Jason. Nate, we have Nate on. Jack's running to the bathroom, and we have our next special guest, Derek McGuire, formerly known as Stats. So, Derek, what's up? Long time no see, huh?
Long time no see. More like 24? Not even 24 hours ago.
Yeah, not even. Where we filmed a 2-hour-long podcast episode. Oh, Kenley Jansen's in. Oh boy. So,
what are his numbers? I wonder what his numbers are. I'm curious.
Well, ask Stat, Derek McGuire stats. He knows everything.
Okay. 308 ERA. All right. 2-4 record. That's he's blown 3 saves. I mean, like overall pretty good numbers.
So,
It's a
Derek,
278 FIP.
278 FIP. Okay. Maybe well, I mean, with the Red Sox defense, I bet a lot of the pitchers have better FIPs than ERAs. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So, Derek, we've asked every single guest this question. I'm going to ask it to you. If you could describe the Red Sox using one word without the word of inconsistent, what word would it be?
Well, 2 words would be consistently inconsistent. So maybe my one word will be consistent because they are. But no. Oh, crap. That's a hard one. I'd probably go with roller coaster.
That's a good way of putting it.
Because inconsistent is like can be all over the place, but there's like legit ups and downs with this team. There's peaks and valleys.
And they've shown them. Man, have they shown them. 8-game winning streak. Then I think like then like a couple bad losses. And then like I think at one point they've won 4 in a row and immediately lost 4 in a row. Immediately after this 6-game winning streak, they've lost 6 of 7 and could possibly lose 7 of 8 and 5 in a row, which would be their longest losing streak of the season.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, that's another great word. I used annoying, but I think roller coaster might be even better.
Well, I didn't lean towards annoying because when I think of Red Sox, I think the whole like shell of the organization, including the minor leagues, and It is roller coaster because even in the minor leagues, like there's some stuff that.
Oh, is that
there's some stuff?
Oh, what a play!
How's
What a
that
play.
arm, Nate? Huh? There we go, Connor.
He does have a really good arm, and
Very good.
and I will say, with it being easier to steal bases with the clock now. I mean, having a good arm, I think, might be even more valuable
And bigger
because
bases
it's more.
too.
Yeah, I mean, it's more reliant on the catcher being able to throw out the runner.
Definitely, yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Stats.
Oh no, it's fine. But it's been without the whole scope of the organization. There's been up and downs, big leagues and minor leagues, whole organization combined. There's been up and downs this year. More ups in the minor leagues than I think there has been in the big leagues. But yeah, I think roller coaster kind of is because there have been clear ups and downs.
Derek, good to meet you. Good to have you.
Yeah.
May I ask, is there a prospect in particular, maybe not? Maybe a little bit more under the radar, maybe not as popular.
No.
No. I was just about to say something bad about Jazz too, is he's not that great. But is there a prospect who's been maybe under the radar that you've been a fan of?
So normally I'll explain this a little bit. Every year going into a new season, I try and pick one guy who's not like a super high rated prospect that is going to be my guy that's starting the year in low A that hasn't played affiliated ball yet. And this year, my guy has been Alan Castro, guy who, pretty solid a lot. He's hit a ton of doubles this year. Salem is like murders Rover home runs in terms of like you're not hitting a home run there. So like that's a good luck thing. Good luck hitting a homer there because it's not happening. But he walks a decent amount too. Seems to have a pretty good approach to the plate. He's an outfielder, which is nice to see. Red Sox have a lot of at the start of the year with Castro and Blaze and Roman Anthony in Salem, pretty solid outfield in Salem too. And he was like, and coming into the year, he was probably before the start of the season updates of prospect. I know for Sox prospects, he was at like in the 50s. Then the preseason update hit, and he jumped into like the 30s, and now he's already up into the high, like the low or high, however you want to say. I think he's 22nd right now. So
oh wow,
he's definitely been a riser in that short time. But
yeah, that's a good pick. How about a pitcher in particular?
Pitcher for me, I'll actually go a little bit more recent as a guy. Obviously, there's been a lot of guys in the low minors pitching well, and a lot of them have really been shown out. But Yordani Monegro, he's a guy who just made his debut, if you've heard, and went 6 innings. He's 20 years old. 6 innings, I think it was only 1 hit, no runs. He was nasty in his 3 FCL starts as well. He was a guy who could have started the year in Salem. They chose not to. 3 starts, dominates the complex league, bring him up the low A, pitches really well there. If you're going to go guy maybe just overall has been very good this year, I think your guy's probably Coffee. And he's a guy who, maybe not super high potential, but he seems at the very least a guy who is doing very well in the minor leagues right now. He's more of a floor guy than a ceiling guy in terms of prospects, but he's a guy who knows can potentially be a big leaguer one day, I think. But he's been pitching very well this year. Yeah.
You guys notice Kenley earlier in the season, we were seeing 97, 98 out of that cutter. I think we just saw 93. So
that's concerning.
So he's not getting it by hitters anymore. Maybe Jazz like.
Wait, sorry. Just a couple of questions. Is Salem our low A affiliate? Because I think okay. Thanks.
Salem's low A, Greenville is high A, then Portland's double A, and Worcester's triple A.
Yeah.
Marcelo Meyer.
That's like FCL leagues in Florida stuff.
FCL essentially is just rookie ball. Most people call it rookie ball.
The one where Noah shit himself. Yeah.
There's 92 at the cutter, so
92. Yeah, that's very concerning. Very concerning. What was I gonna say? But yeah, Jack, Strato's a really fun game. It's basically a baseball. It's like fantasy. It's like a fantasy baseball board game where it's essentially dice, cards, and charts. And what you do is you have a deck of cards. With each team is a deck of cards, and you have real players, and you're basically a manager. And you make the lineup, you make the moves, and then the hitting team rolls 3 dice. One's a white die, and the 2 are colored die. And it's like you basically the number on the white die is the column, and it can be between 1 and 6.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 is the hitter card. 4, 5, 6 is the pitcher card, and then the 2 colored die, they're blue. You can roll between a 2 and 12, and it's basically the result on either the hitter or pitcher card. It's really fun and it's really
Yeah, that sounds
realistic.
cool.
So yeah, and I think it's something you'd really like.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Oh.
Is he gonna throw? No,
Yeah, man.
not quite.
Yeah, another 91 cutter was a strike. 94 wasn't even close. 92 there. So
Hopefully he's under the weather.
yeah.
Yeah, stats. I'm surprised you've never. I know we have talked about this with you, but I'm surprised you've never heard of Stratomatic Baseball. Oh, they
Yeah,
want to
have you
review
heard
it.
of it?
Oh,
It's probably
There's-
because I live in nowhere, Florida. That's probably why.
Oh, okay.
I think Arroyo might have got a.
But
No way
Strato
they
is the thing that
Ooh.
the interesting thing about Strato is that it's kind of niche and it's it's really old school. So it's like you kind of have to search to find it. So it doesn't surprise me that much. I mean, like I basically heard of it from my dad, because it's been around for a really long time. He
That's
played it
not
when he
even
was a
close.
kid.
He's way safe.
I don't know. What could they be interference? Like, why would they challenge
No.
this? This is a dumb
That
challenge.
angle is inconclusive. Are you
Yeah, that
are you
angle-
watching the
There's
game?
not-
angle before the more zoomed out angle. He's clearly
Okay.
safe.
Okay.
I mean, might as well, right? It's the 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
you
know,
only have
Jack-
one challenge. You might as well use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek, what do you think about Yeah, he's safe. Derek or Nate, were you gonna say something?
I was basically going to ask if he knew what Alan Castro's slash line was, and if he knew what the ERA of the pitcher is. Since you are the stats guy, I'm curious.
Yeah, so Alan Castro actually loaded up right now, actually. So this year, Castro, he's a switch hitter, but he does have a little bit of
That's good.
platoon concerns.
What are the concerns?
But in terms of he's going to hit better against one side than another side.
Okay.
But it's not it's so early in his development that it's not a massive concern right now. He's only just turned 20 about a month ago. Castro's hitting 244 with a 368 on base and a 385 slugging. He has a 121 weighted runs created plus in low A.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like the on base potential. That's really
Yeah,
good.
he's got a
There we
16%
go.
walk rate.
That was a strike.
That wasn't framed very well again, but
Yeah.
I guess
I don't know if we're
No, I
spoiling
think-
anything for
I
you,
think
Derek. I'm sorry.
Wong, the ones
No,
that
it's
tend to
fine.
get behind him a little, he has trouble pulling back in, where it's his wrist is past maybe his elbow area. Yeah, Derek, keep going. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no, Monegro, he's only pitched one game in low A, and he went 5 innings, didn't give up anything. And then in the complex league, he pitched 3 games, 15 innings. I think he only gave up 2 runs in the 15 innings, so it's not a big sample size, but from what we have seen from him, he's been stellar. The only other guy I'd say maybe keep an eye on, he's still in the FCL, so really green. But Marvin Alcantara, Sox Prospects has him ranked 21st, and Fangraphs actually has him ranked 9th in the system. And he wasn't an expensive signing either. Marvin Alcantara, he was only signed for $30,000 at the start in January of 2022.
Oh wow, so that's a Bloom guy. What do you think? How much was? Do you remember? I don't know if you remember off the top of your head. How much was Bayo signed for?
I think it might have been 28,000.
Wow. So he was cheap.
Or something like that. He was a cheap guy, and this is why I say with prospects, it's especially when they're cheaper guys. It's not necessarily who's in the front office. It's not a Dombrowski. Bayo's not a Dombrowski guy. He's not, because Dombrowski. It was 28,000. Bayo's an Eddie Romero guy, because Eddie Romero was his main signing scout that oversaw his signing. Whereas Dombrowski, he's not going to give that much clearance on $28,000. I think Cedon Rafaela.
Right,
right. I think he was $10,000.
What was Blaze?
Miguel Blaze was, I think, about $1 million. I think. Actually checking that right now. Miguel Blaze was $1.5 million.
Okay.
So he was, I think, their highest signing that signing period.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, and that, so Bloom has a little bit more pull maybe in that case. But still, I'd still lean and say it's the signing scouts guy, or the guy's the head.
And ultimately, the head exec kind of gets the credit there. Do you know who's the most expensive international signing ever for us? But as a prospect,
probably Yoan Moncada.
Okay.
Really?
I would lean there.
Where do you think?
I don't.
Wait a minute.
Remember how much Moncada was?
Why would someone like Yoshida not count?
Because he came over as he wasn't an amateur free agent. When you talk about international signing, you're talking like the international amateur free agents, and he wasn't considered one. Same thing. I think the same thing was the same thing with Rusney Castillo. Yeah, he was.
I was about to bring him up too, because I remember he was a big guy we signed from Cuba like back in 2015. He just didn't pan out at all.
Yeah, you're thinking guys who are going to be like prospects right away. They're not going to come up and play right immediately.
Yeah.
Yohan Moncada's signing bonus, according to Sox Prospects, I don't know if this is right. It feels outrageous, but it says $31.5 million.
That is outrageous.
Oh my
God. Bonus? Oh,
I don't remember but I know the Red Sox, because they spent so much money in his signing window, they had like the next year they couldn't sign anyone.
Yeah, and honestly, like for how highly taught of a prospect he was, once he got here, that is, he's been a disappointing baseball player. Like honestly,
yeah, I'm with you on that.
Anything special. The glove, the speed has been there, but the bat, it's just
I think
never taken that stride really.
No, I think he hit like 300.
So Moncada signed for 31.5. It was 31.5 million signing bonus at 19 years old.
That's
so he was a little older. I have no clue why it would be allowed to be. The Red Sox had to pay approximately $63 million to acquire him because they exceeded their international spending pool of $700,000.
Wow. Who's the most?
Sad.
So what was that?
Sad.
So wait a minute, like
that's still. Sorry, Nate. Go ahead. I just have another question.
Was it like so 63 million? So that means they have to pay like another 30-ish million for going over that that tax or whatever, for going over that threshold.
Yes, you said the threshold was 700,000.
Yeah, so
that's insane. They basically had to double the amount they paid him.
They did.
Exactly. They exactly doubled it. Wow.
Yeah, the MLB taxed it at 100%, so they had to pay the MLB $31.5 million.
Derek, who is the most? Is Blaze our most expensive international guy to date? Like that's still in the system.
Blaze as under Hein Bloom, I'm pretty sure he's the most expensive signing.
Who's the runner up to that?
I think it's Yoel Cespedes got 1.4 million.
Okay.
And that was this past year.
Is he in Hyatt?
He's in the DSL in the Dominican Summer League.
Really?
But he is tearing it up there.
When will he be playing for our affiliate teams?
So the DSL is still technically a Red Sox affiliate team, but like it's not in terms of like their affiliate. But I don't consider them. I call affiliate ball low A through AAA. The Red Sox, their like group in terms of getting him to the FCL will probably be next year. A lot of reason prospects don't come over, like for example, Cespedes, he won't come over because then his money that the Red Sox, his bonus, gets taxed, I guess, in the Dominican and the U.S. and it costs him money.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm learning so much here. I love it.
So a lot of times they stay there for the year to get their full bonus, and then they come over to the U.S. So expect next year's probably the FCL for him to start, and we'll probably see some A-ball next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's what we're going to do. We have some special guests lurking on deck. We're going to take 30 seconds.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So Dave O'Brien. Yeah.
Dave O'Brien.
How did those analytics work out for Mr. Cora tonight? What did I believe he got the golden sombrero, right? Didn't our guy Chris Snyder get the golden sombrero, strike out 4 times?
Oh my God, a golden sombrero?
Awesome. Cora's
All right.
manager of the year. Sign me up.
Yeah.
So let's introduce Jeff Brown, Mr. Brown, and Jeremy.
By the
overweight
way,
underdog.
we're 1 out away from losing the game.
Thanks for reminding me.
Oh crap! Now we're 1 strike away.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As I was saying, Jeremy, the overweight underdog, depressed Sox fan. Taylor was about to make a surprise visit, but Michael Anthony Napoli.
Yeah.
But he had to bail. He wished
The
he
man,
could be
the
on.
myth,
He
the
wanted me
legend.
to he wanted me to surprise.
Just one.
You guys.
I gotta say this because
Drop.
I cannot believe
No.
Brian Bayo is going to get the loss for the absolute.
And he has. He
can.
just has.
This
I
offense
can believe
is
it.
so pathetic.
But it's 2023 Red Sox. Are you surprised at this point?
No, I'm honestly
No.
not. I mean,
Oh.
this is bad.
Which gets me to my point. I have kind of jogged in and out, Jason, and
Oh
I
my
heard
God.
you ask, what is one word you could describe the Red Sox? And my word is an abyss, a deep, dark cavern, which no light escapes or gets into. Those are your
Oh my
23 Boston Red Sox.
They
Okay,
got
Jeremy.
out-hit 7-3. They got
Yeah.
out-hit 7-3, and for the longest time they had the only hit. Incredible.
There were no
Incredible.
hitting them after 7.
Yeah.
This
Talk
I
about a
guess-
bullpen collapse. I mean,
I guess where I
Yeah.
go with this is,
And you can't say Dave.
right. We can't. But here's the question I have, and I guess this is the only way I can put it. What the fuck happened to this team? What the fuck happened to this team that could come back by being down by 6 runs? What the fuck happened to this fight that they had at the beginning of the season? This team looks very similar to 2022, where they go out, no expression, no excitement, no, things. They're just out there and I'm just going to, make a play here. Kike is going to be at shortstop and fuck everything up for us. Like, what the hell? I don't get this crap. Like,
Let me take the horses from angry, depressed Red Sox fan
Go
for a
for it.
second.
it's funny. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
There's
sorry.
no way. I don't want to hear people blame it on injuries. You can blame it on injuries as far as the pitching staff. We've had some shortcomings there, but outside of our middle infield, which we knew was a disaster going into the season, we did nothing to do to take care of that issue. Heim Bloom, he takes a black eye on this one.
I got
But
it.
you're right. They had great ups and downs. Well, a lot of ups in the season so far. And what was the consistency? They had a consistent lineup. Cora's incapable about putting a consistent lineup because he's so friggin' brainwashed with analytics.
You're not wrong. That's
agree.
something. Sorry.
Infield, because they did get Pablo Reyes. Pablo Reyes has not been that bad. He's been better than Kike Hernandez.
Definitely.
Yet we're going to keep putting Hernandez out there. We got to keep doing it. And I know Reyes is abdominal strain or whatever the fuck you want to call it now, and so he can't play. But this is horseshit. The guy was playing better than him. Like, seriously, what is the explanation?
Yeah, it's June 29th, and you're still rolling out Kike Hernandez as your starting shortstop. It's just a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
what's the definition of insanity? Repeating the same thing over and over and expecting it to change? I mean, come on. The guy's terrible. He can't play baseball.
He can't.
Well, he can play baseball. It's just in center field.
Right. He can play center field. Right.
But Duran's
Yeah,
our center.
and then-
Duran is our center fielder. Duran has out-hit this man by a mile. And because you're saying, well, I don't feel comfortable analytically because lefty on lefty, bullshit. This is 2023. How do you expect these prospects, these young players, to get better and become elite players that are going to stay in 5-10 years in the league if they can't hit lefty on lefty? That's a horse shit excuse.
Nate, you were going to say
I don't
something?
think Cora cares about that. I think that's the problem. I think
Yeah.
Cora just goes out there.
But he's
and
the one who
really
puts the
trying-
lineup in. I don't, you can't
No, I
say
know,
Heim
no,
Bloom is
I
down
know.
there writing the lineup card in.
I mean, it might be better if he was, but
It might be, yeah.
there are times I feel that way. But like, I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect between the front office and Cora, just in the sense of like, it feels like Bloom's like, and the whole reason to bring Bloom in was thinking long term, right? And you have a guy in Jaron Duran who you're hoping is piece of your long-term puzzle. Why are we not playing him every day? I understand giving him off days, and if those off days, if they're going to come any day, they probably should come against lefties, so Ref Snyder can get play time because he's not playing against righties. But
Snyder shouldn't be playing at all.
I'd argue he should be with how he hits lefties.
Ref Snyder is basically Brock Holt, and not that good.
Yeah, but it's over 300.
Jason, does that mean they don't like baseball? Jason, want to explain the joke?
No, I'm good. Nate, you wanted to say something?
Just like I know, it's just an inside joke between me and Jason. I'm a really good friend of his, by the way. Anyway, I'm just saying that I agree with everything.
Of Jason or Ref Snyder?
No, Jeff. I just agree with you. Jeff. I just agree with you specifically in the sense of like there is no consistency in the lineup they're putting together. I mean, it's changes all around. You got guys moving up and down and all around all over the place. And I think you bring up a very good point of like, you can't just keep avoiding like, these supposed weaknesses in the analytics side. You can't like expect a guy to develop if they can't hit lefty on lefty. It's kind of like with the whole Tanner Houck third time through the order thing. Like maybe it's a little different, but I think you can draw parallels. I mean, it's just, I think it's frustrating when he's pitching really well the first two times through the order, then he automatically gets yanked because of the third time. It's just like they need to face that adversity to, actually improve and, no longer have these weaknesses.
Yeah,
so yeah,
definitely.
It's like it's just like that was a point that I haven't really heard, and that's definitely very insightful. So yeah,
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It boggles my mind. So you're saying Yoshida is okay to go lefty on lefty. Devers obviously because he's an all-star, even though he's hitting. I don't know what he's hitting. 230, 240.
Is he actually an all-star?
He was. He's been an all-star. I should say.
Okay. He's been an all-star. We don't know.
He's got qualities of an all-star play. He looked good in the outfield today. I was watching him steal plays are going to Kike. I'm like, man, this is going to be a no-hitter. Devers is going to will himself to make this be a no-hitter. But then we got into the lineup and Ref Snyder got up.
Oh my God! Wasn't it Kike? Kike was the play with Kike that broke it up.
Well, there's no way he was going to make the play, but it was kind of ironic that it was Kike that broke up the no-hitter.
It's kind of symbolic, and you want to know something funny? He almost threw that ball away because I think Turner had to reach over and get it, and go way off the bag.
I'd like to say what it looked like, but I feel like I get banned on Twitter. They have Olympics for these people every 4 years, and it's not the Great Olympics in Greece. That's what Kike looked like.
Whoa. Okay.
Well,
I mean, his arm came out like a spaghetti noodle.
This turned into the Red Sox saloon 3.0.
Yeah, we've kind of done that. We're crying in our freaking beers right now. And
yeah, we're definitely the older crowd. Obviously, between Jeremy and I, we're definitely a little bit more burnt out. I mean, we've had a lot of success, but we've had a lot more failure than you guys have seen in your lifetimes. You guys, most in your lifetimes, you've seen high success. I'm talking all four of you.
Hey, 2012 was a terrible time. Okay.
Yeah, but right, I'm going to say 20 years. You've had 4 championships. I'm over 50. I've seen 4 championships.
Yep. Right.
So
I will say this. I'm so pissed off right now that I'm willing to just step outside and breathe this fucking Canadian air that's killing us right now. Willingly. I'll just sit out there the rest of the night and just breathe it in.
Yeah. And go smoke a pack of Luckies while you're at it.
Right. Do that too. Like, that's how pissed I am about it.
No, and the last 2 games, I was so disengaged from the Red Sox. I had no emotion. I was emotionless. Going in, the Miami pitching staff is fairly elite compared to the Red Sox pitching staff right now.
So
they're going to get better, but they're not going to get better to the point they're going to be a playoff team. And somebody mentioned, who's making this line. It does remind me like I'm watching Moneyball. But this team is not going to go and win, 20 games in a row like the Oakland A's.
Right. And I think,
they're not going to play like the Oakland A's then. They're going to play like the Oakland A's now. That's how they're playing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Go ahead, Jack, because I do want to get back. Before we wrap this up, I do want to talk about the Never mind. Go ahead.
No, take it away. What were you gonna say?
It's
No,
bad to
I
be as
wanna
bad
ra-
as the A's.
I was going to
We
wrap
can-
it
we
up
can-
with
you
the
can
A's
say-
of last night's events. That
Oh
you
yeah.
had
Well, we almost
you had probably the worst people to sell the game of baseball get a perfect game. I mean,
And by,
I'm
like,
sure
one of the worst
I'm sure there are worse people,
people.
but he is not exactly what you call, hey, let's stroll this guy out to start selling our baseball, whether it's MLB.com or MLB
right.
TV.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
not coming anytime soon, even with
Yeah.
him throwing a no hitter because of his checkered past.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh
think
yeah,
that
that's a good point. Yeah.
Could there have been a worse option to throw the first perfect game in what? How many days was it? 2000, something like that.
It was
It's been 11 years.
2000.
It's like 10,
12?
10 years.
2012,
11
Felix
years.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
I think it was like 4,000 days.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, like 4,000 days.
Would have
But
been a little bit
yeah,
less
I mean,
if
could
that guy in
I
Colorado
would have
got-
rather Garrett Cole throwing the no hitter against the
Yeah.
Red Sox than seeing
Yeah.
Domingo Germán throw a no hitter against anyone.
Yeah.
Because at least like the Red Sox got no hit in 2018. Like as much as it sucks, like it's one game, right?
I saw
Domingo
so
Germán
many-
throws a perfect game, and it's like, what are we doing?
So
Like-
back to the Red Sox. If I can kind of bring this back to the Sox here, like here's the question I have. Right, if you're Bayo right now, and you're sitting in the clubhouse, and you're looking at your teammates, what the hell's going through your head?
Yeah,
I don't think anything gets that kid down. He is.
I don't know.
Him and Pedro have such a good link. I think he's just a positive dude.
Yeah.
And I think there are positive guys in that clubhouse, and it's the young core. It's Cassis. It's
Right,
Duran.
yeah.
I
But-
think he's surrounding himself with those players, and the hell with the rest of them.
But you know what? They all should be doing right now in that fucking clubhouse. They should all be going right up to Bayo and saying sorry. Every single fucking one of them needs to give him an apology for this shit.
Earlier I said they each owe him $10,000 if he gets the loss. I mean, the guy
Right.
had a no-hitter through 7 innings. He's your probably second best player going forward. I'd say behind Devers, right? Because of Devers and Bayo. The guy is going to be here and be pitching well. You got to hope for a decade. And this is his first full season. He's been lights out. The guy almost made history, and you give him the loss. I mean, what a joke. And we were all pissed going into this night about, how the team's been playing and how much, I mean, this just makes it all the worse. This is like the tipping point for me, honestly.
Wait a second. We
Yeah,
got
I
swept
have
by
a
the
question.
fucking Marlins. Wait a fucking
have-
minute. We just got swept by the fucking Marlins.
Hold on.
Yeah.
To be fair, the
When's the
Marlins
last
are
one?
actually good. Okay, let's be fair. Let's be
Yeah,
fair.
the
for
Marlins
fucking
are
Marlins
what, 12 games
actually
over 500.
Yeah,
We're
their
14.
lineup's pretty
Nate, what do you got for us, buddy?
No, I'm just saying, like, and just like with Jack, like 7 hits after. It's incredible that they gave up 7 hits like after it was broken up, and also, I mean, I do get that the Marlins are good, but like, I think the Red Sox have had their way with the Marlins for like a ridiculous amount of time for a while. So like to get swept by them is incredible. I mean, how many times have they been swept? I feel like they've been swept. I think at least 6 times at this
I
point.
mean,
Which
the Marlins
is terrible,
pitching ridiculous,
and
we didn't even see.
I think the Red Sox have been swept 5 times. They mentioned it in the pregame. They've been swept a decent amount of times this year, though. Oakland A's was the last time they got swept, which was funny. I think they got swept by the Oakland A's.
Who did?
They haven't played the A's this year.
Yeah,
They were on the West Coast, or maybe it wasn't the Oakland.
That
Not
was
the
the
Angels.
Angels. That was
the
the
Angels.
Angels.
Angels, okay.
And they
Those out
start
there.
with close enough.
But I want to get back to Jeremy's question. This team had some serious vibes May into June, early June. Well, kind of like last year, where Story kind of carried them for a few weeks. But they had the vibes of they could come back. You knew this team had some comeback in them. And I think Cora has basically chopped that off at the head because he's not letting these guys play on a regular basis, and it's got to be sending negative vibes to the clubhouse. That basically, I'm with my veterans, period.
I think you're totally on point there because, and I don't know, I'm not a major league player. I am not, right? I have played sports though, and one thing I can tell you is if I felt like I was having a great game and things were going good, and then I either get yanked out of the game
Right.
or I don't start the next game, yeah, I'm pissed. That
You got
pisses
3 doubles in a row, but analytics say you can't hit a lefty.
right. Like,
Yeah.
what, you don't have the faith in me that I'm going to get this done, even though I've been kicking ass all night?
Speaking
Like-
of that, why the fuck hasn't Casas been in the lineup?
Yeah.
Cora.
Yep.
I don't know.
I partially understand in terms of Cass not playing first base. He has struggled at times, not putting
Yeah,
him at first
Turner
base.
looked
He's
good
still being
tonight,
in the
didn't he?
line. No,
He didn't look
the
good.
point is like
Who said? Did someone say he looked good?
Oh, sarcasm.
it was start. It was,
Okay, yeah. Okay,
It was
I was hoping for that because
Dave O'Brien.
yeah, but
was good.
like
No, I'm kidding.
But like Cassis hasn't been great at first this year, so like, and I still think he'll be good defensively long term. He's had his struggles this year, so
Agreed.
occasionally maybe DH him, but you shouldn't be taking him out of the lineup. He's been one of your best hitters since the start of May. Like, why are we taking him out? I think
He's the
that's,
second
like, a
best
big-
infielder by far. And I hate to say it, but
He might
Devers
be
is probably your
I'd
best
argue
defensive infielder. Who would have saw that coming?
a defensive.
Yeah.
I will
That's
admit
not
he's
really
played
a
legitimately good
problem,
defense, but like
Are we
that
counting-
is still a
As
problem.
far as giving
Are
up
we counting
errors.
Connor Wong as it? Are we counting Connor Wong as an infielder? Because
No.
we're counting Connor Wong then.
No.
Yeah,
you
you're
can't
Fielder
thinking
is
like
just
the
for
only
first
guys.
two
or-
good fielders consistently
Ooh.
have been Devers and Verdugo. That's it.
But he's not been an
Verdugo's
infielder
in
that
Gold Glove
much.
conversation probably.
But
So I put all those other guys, unfortunately, that are hurt now. Reyes, Arroyo has been I think been a really solid second baseman. He just can't hit for shit.
Chang too. Yeah.
He's not
Yu
the
Chang
Arroyo.
when he was healthy, yeah.
Yu
Yeah.
Chang, but throwing Kike back out there, and I think stats you said it. Him and Kike have a long history together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's just going to keep on throwing them out there which this is where you need to step up and be the manager because you're not gonna have a job in about 2
Absolutely.
weeks if you keep
I
on
wa-
throwing Kike at
Yeah, that
shortstop.
is true.
Yeah.
I
It's
wonder,
like-
like,
it's-
in
it's
terms
like-
of the.
I almost
It's
want
kind
to.
of like he's the coach's son, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna. I wonder, like, too. Like, we get towards the end of this year, like, does Cora maybe get moved off of? And they bring in another manager.
I don't think he's going to
Is
make
that-
it through this year. I mean,
I
do you
don't
think he's
think-
going to
I
make
don't
it through
thi-
this
I
year?
don't think they make a manager change in year. That doesn't seem like a thing. They would
Yeah.
do.
That's not a
agreed.
Heim Bloom thing, but that's not like I don't feel like that's going to be a Heim Bloom decision.
I
I feel
think
like
it
it's going to
is.
be a Fenway group decision.
I don't think mid-season, like, especially you're looking at
maybe
like
like
another top
last
10
2 weeks
pick.
of the season. Maybe.
I
The
just
fan
don't see the
base
value
has
in
a-
that.
The fan base has shown, especially with the Devers contract, that they can make this ownership do something. They're very they have a hair trigger to do something if the fan base gets on them enough. And I think Twitter is going to start to explode, especially if they go in Toronto. They are not winning unless something happens. They are not winning a series in Toronto, and then they come back to play Texas. I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's yeah. No.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Hey,
a-
they
just,
got Oakland before
they
the
do
All-Star
better
break.
versus better
they do
teams.
have Oakland before the
that's the
All-Star break.
thing.
Good.
That is the.
After two.
I'm just thinking. I don't know. I feel like at this point it's just pixie dust that could get them to win a series in Toronto because like they've done this song and dance where it seems like they're gonna really go into this big slump. They'll go from 2 games below 500 to 7 games below 500, and then they pull 6 straight wins out of their ass, which they did 2 weeks ago. I mean, they lost 2 out of 3 to a lousy team in Colorado, and then they won 6 in a row. But I don't know. But again, like the vibes seem really
the
bad.
pitching staff was also about a 2.0, 2.3 ERA. Verdugo was in all of those games, and I hate to say it and I said it at the beginning of the year. Somebody who lives on the Cape probably will have his
Okay,
head
what do we
spin right
got?
now. And I said Verdugo is your MVP of your team because he just likes to rattle the drums, get guys motivated. Do I think
Yeah.
he's the MVP number wise? I didn't think that going into the season. But as far as a rah-rah guy on the bench,
Mhm.
he is a leader, and then maybe that's why I said not MVP. And this guy lost his freaking mind, and that's exactly what's played out this year. Verdugo has been the leader of the team. Devers, I don't ever see Devers being the leader of this team. He's too quiet and reserved. He's never, ever, ever going to be a big poppy. That's just not within his personality.
Yeah, I think
I'll say this too about Verdugo. I mean, he's top 30 out of all qualified players in F4 and B War. He's top 20 among all qualified hitters in weighted runs created plus. He's got 7 defensive runs saved this year in the outfield. He's got 2 outs above average and a 5.6 UZR, which is ultimate zone rating. So defensive metrics like him this year too in right field. Like, he's been the Red Sox best player, especially position player. He's been their best position player, and I'd argue he's been their best player in total this season.
And this is with him leading off, and we didn't have that leadoff hitter. Everybody expected it to be Yoshida, and he hasn't let off one game, I don't think. And new role for him, and he fits it perfectly.
Yeah,
he does.
It's funny. You want to know something funny? I mean, obviously, I've not been happy with how Cora's managed the team, but I think that right before he got benched in that game in Cleveland, it felt like he was creeping back into the player that he was the past years. I think he was still slipping Dak down to 280, and I think the defense was there, but again, hitting wise, he was going back to player he was, and I feel like ever since the game after he got benched, he's been on this 12-game hitting streak. He's been hitting 300. So I think that's one instance where I can give Cora credit, because I feel like the fact that he got benched there kind of motivated him. And he's trying to. It was a wake up call. Good way of putting it.
Okay,
for Verdugo,
I can see.
I think he benched Verdugo is a sign to wake up the team. I don't think Verdugo needed to be benched.
I don't even think it's that. Here's where I go with it. Right, he benched Verdugo. He benched Verdugo for the lack of hustle, right? And fine, and I use quotations on that lack of hustle. You can go either way with it, right? My question is, why the fuck is Kike Hernandez still out there then? Why have you done anything with him?
You gotta start a chain of tweets, Jeremy. Why is Kike Hernandez still playing shortstop?
What? Why? Why are we doing this? Right? You're not going to hold that guy accountable, but you're going to hold Verdugo accountable. Good for you. That way to go. Yeah, you really shook up the team, didn't you? It's paying dividends.
I'm not trying. I wasn't saying the team. I thought it might have just gotten Verdugo to start playing. But you're right. I mean, why is Kike Hernandez still playing games? Why is he still starting games? Why is he still starting games at shortstop, even though he clearly has shown that he's an outfielder playing the infield who doesn't know how to play the infield? And I think 13 of his 14 throwing errors, probably 13 of his 14 errors, maybe even more now. Maybe what is he at 15? Have been throwing.
I think 15.
14 throwing probably.
It's just the fact that you had a lineup tonight with basically 3 journeymen. Arroyo, Kike, and Ref Snyder. They should not be starting on a Major League Baseball line. And maybe they should be, but not on the Boston Red Sox.
I think Ref Snyder's okay against lefties.
Yeah.
Against lefties, but not Kike. The thing with Kike, too, it's wacky about
That's
him.
what a journeyman is, though. He's a specialty player.
The thing with Kike that's wacky is there isn't as much as I hate Kike at short, the only other option is David Hamilton. I do like David Hamilton. Lefty tonight, I kind of understand it. I don't like it, but I can see it.
Plays better defense. I'll take the hit off.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't like it. But I can see why. I'm not saying I like it though. I definitely still don't like it. But they literally, you even look in AAA, the whole they're injured even up the middle in AAA too. So they're in just a hellhole when it comes to injuries up the middle. It's rough. Emmanuel Valdez is on the injured list in AAA. Christian Koss is. Ryan Fitzgerald's on the injured list. Right now they have Nick Sogard playing shortstop in AAA.
Is he related? Is he related to Eric Sogard?
Yes, I think they're cousins.
The fact remains it's AAA. No one cares. I don't mean that to be rude, but other than
what I mean is
the Fenway group who brings in the money from, and the Woo Sox are gonna almost sell out every night because it's in Worcester. It's a good. I don't know. You guys probably all live in Boston. It's probably a cheaper alternative than going to Fenway. And at least that's what when Pawtucket was sold out all the time, and their prices weren't cheap. But where I'm going with this is, we need to get professional bats back in the lineup. And if we're not, let's just put the rookies in. Let's put the prospects in. Let them play every damn day, or they're not going to get more season. It doesn't make any sense. We're not going to get any better, guys. I mean, we're weeks away from – we have 3 starting pitchers right now. 3. Sales weeks away. Tanner Houck
Well,
is
you have
I don't even
time.
Tanner Houck is weeks away. Story is weeks away. This team's not
This
going
team
anywhere.
doesn't get better unless you add from the outside, but this team hasn't shown you that you should add from the outside. That's
right.
That's
And
the bottom
plan,
line.
I mean, Heim, without saying it during the was it the fan camp or whatever they called that? He didn't come out and say it, but he said 2023 is not a rebuild year, but it's not exactly a championship year either.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a rebuild year. I've been calling it from the start a transition year because they're transitioning from their core in 2022, that older core with Martinez and Bogarts and Evaldi and et cetera, whoever you want to put in there. And they're transitioning to this younger core of Devers, Verdugo, and then you're also adding guys like Casas, Bayo, Whitlock, how those guys, they're transitioning to that. And
I just want to end with
there are
this.
guys
Coming
through the minor leagues, and I think that's why 23 is a transition year because, like, there are guys coming through the minor leagues, but they're not going to be here yet, right? They're not here yet. 2024 is when you're going to start seeing the Myers and Yorks come up, and that's why, like, for me, I said it since the Betts trade. It ended up being a really good prediction, but I said 2024 is the year that this thing's really going to start to go for the Red Sox. Kind of needs to be now at this point.
And do you have any faith that Cora, if he's still here, is going to run that lineup in that team in any good fashion? Because he's not doing it right now with these kids. He's not letting them play. And that's not what you want to see as a prospect or a kid down in AA, AAA. That, oh, man, I'm going to get to the big leagues one day, but I won't really play.
Or I'm going to get to the big leagues and I'm going to go 3 for 3 and then get yanked.
Or if I make an error, I'll be benched.
Is that what Reese McGuire said in the parking lot? I'm sorry.
My worry is you have a guy like a Rafaela who gets called up. I love Rafaela. It's probably my favorite prospect in the system. As much as I love him, his bat is not going to be amazing as of right now. I'm not saying he's getting called up.
He doesn't need to come up.
He still has some work to do. I know. But what I'm saying is next year, potentially when he's up next year, which I think he will be, his defense can win you a Gold Glove from the get-go. From the get-go, it can win you a Gold Glove. He's got 30 stolen bases already this year in the minor leagues. He can be a very productive player. Is the bat necessarily going to be at an MLB level right from the get-go? Maybe, maybe not. He's not going to be, hitting 300 or anything. He's not going to give you tons of power. But the defense and base running is there where he can be a productive player. But with Alex Ford being the manager, my worry is, Rafaela went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. We're going to bench him now for like 3 days, even though he's by far the guy we need to play in center field because of his defense. Like, I mean, you put Jackie Bradley Jr. out there last year in right field. Like, you're telling me you can't put a Rafaela in the field? Like,
or better yet, even right now, you got, and I'm going to speak to right now, and I know we keep going back to this, but as you just said, we trotted out Jackie Bradley Jr. so many times last year, right? Why can't we put David Hamilton in now? Fuck the bat. Story's coming back. Put him in and get better defense for now. Shit, you just cost your pitcher a fucking game. Seriously. Like, why are we doing this? That's what pisses me off. Is, okay, we trotted Jackie Bradley Jr. out there forever. We played Bobby Dahlbeck at first fucking base last year a whole bunch of times. So why can't you do it with Hamilton right now? Why? Because Kike's your boy? Fuck off.
Yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing, like, do we even have confidence? I mean, like, I get what you're saying. I 100% agree with what you're saying, like, to get defense until Story comes back. But, can we even be confident that we'll get good defense with Story? I mean, like, I think I first heard that he was going to come back as a DH. Like, how is that going to help us? Like, but apparently he's coming back as a shortstop. It's just like, it goes to show that, like, this team's a mess.
Say on the pregame that he's coming back as a DH.
Shit.
Yeah, I think
I don't think that'd be smart.
But that's what he said.
Right.
Like, okay, if that's
but
the
at
case,
the same time, Heim
the
could
case
say
of,
we're not activating it.
Turner and Duvall are gone by the trade deadline. They have to be gone.
I wouldn't necessarily say Turner.
Well, not necessarily
just because he has that player option. Just because he has that player option, and they might want to give him. But I think Duvall's definitely gone.
The buyout's
but there's no
huge,
place for Turner on this team.
Well, what next year? I mean, because Derek said it yesterday. It's basically, I wouldn't give it more than a 50-50 shot, because the buyout's about $7 million.
Wait,
So
what
he
is the
can-
buyout?
The buyout is 6.7 million. His deal
6.7
for next
million.
year is
So he's
13.4.
getting paid $6.7 million
No.
by the Red Sox no matter what. So he has a player option, Nate. If he opts out, he automatically gets $6.7 million from the Red Sox. He can say, and his player option is what, $13 million?
13.4. So it's
I'm
double the
saying they're going
buyout.
to trade him. I mean, somebody's going to
So
want
it's
another.
double the
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of teams don't want to trade for Justin Turner and take that buyout. So what would most likely have to happen? The Red Sox would have to offer to pay the buyout if he opts out, and then that's an extra 6.7 next year. Now, I don't think the luxury tax will matter next year. I think they're going to go over anyways, but it's still not necessarily a nice thing to have on the books. I mean, 6.7 million, you don't need to. I mean, especially if he's not on your team, do you really want
You think they're
6.7
going to go
million
over
on
the books next year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why you reset it. You don't reset it to stay under. You reset it to go
Yeah,
over
you
again.
reset. Oh yeah, so we can go back over it.
You're talking about the tax cap, right?
Yeah,
What are you saying? You're saying we're going over the luxury tax next year.
Next, I believe so. I believe that would be the plan.
Where are the contracts coming to bring us over the luxury tax? Sale is gone as of next year, right?
No. Sale has one more year left.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Sale has one more
Yeah,
year.
and they'll hopefully give two
another year with
contracts
Mr.
out, 1
Glass.
year.
Yep.
Sale has. I'll give you the expiring deals. Turner has a player option. Kike is expiring. That's 10 million off the books. Kluber has a team option with no buyout. That'll get declined. That's 10 million off the books. Duvall, that's 7 million off the books. Paxton, that's 4 million off the books. Blyer and Jolly Rodriguez team options are getting declined, so that's about 4.5 million.
What's
Rodriguez's
buyout?
So off
They're
the
both
books
really
basically means
cheap.
they're not being paid that much. Does off the books mean they're not being paid that amount of money?
Off the books means they're not going to be on the team next year, I believe.
That's what I thought.
As far as I believe, they're expiring. Yes. And then the only other guy is Adalberto Mondesi. That's 3 million off your books as well.
So with all that money coming off the books, how are they going to be over the luxury tax?
Because it's not. In the end of the day, it's not a ton of money coming off the books in the overall picture of it. And then you go and get a guy like I want them to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's probably what 20 million a year,
Maybe
if not
more,
a little
yeah.
bit more.
And I get that. You have to go back out and get guys to replace them.
They're clearing all that room.
But
they're
you
gonna
could
look
also
to
be
make
bringing up
improvements,
prospects
too.
at the same time, which are only going to cost you $1 million here and $1 million there.
Well, how much would they need?
Like
to
you
spend
said,
realistically
Sedan
to go over?
Rafaela, Nick York should be up next year.
Yes, but I think they're going to make. I think the one place where they're going to spend is the position player
Pitching.
free agent market is like nothing next year. They're going to spend on pitching starters, especially the next 2 years of free agency. The starter market is like ridiculous. Next year, Jason and I went through it last night. There's like at least like 5 number ones for a rotation in the free agent market, if not 6 or 7. Like there's a ton of guys. If player options get exercised, don't get exercised or stuff like that, right?
It's not a good DH.
I wish they put the bidding war on pay-per-view for Ohtani. That would be worth the price of admission.
Well, do you see the exact
24 hours to bid on Ohtani? The cost of pay-per-view is $100. Go. I'm in.
Well, there's an executive who said someone's like, what, 11 years, 550 million. And he said, no, higher.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean,
well,
what
guys,
did you say, Derek? He's, what, a $30-40 million just for being a hitter and a $30-40 million for being a pitcher, right?
Yep.
Didn't we have this conversation a while ago?
Yeah.
I'm talking about stats.
I think so, yeah.
So,
Jeremy,
Jack, I think I know you have to
You gotta
leave.
get some
Derek.
water. Your beard's on fire, man. You're so hot right now.
I know, isn't it?
That came out as a flirt, but I meant that you were like really angry and pissed off. That's where I was going with that.
Because here's what this game just did to me, right? Before this game, I was numb. And I was, okay, it is what it is. Screw it, fine. Punting on this year, okay. So I go into this game with like very little emotion. Then I hear that Bayo is through 7, right? So
Yeah, that's me.
All right, I'll put on the radio. Put on the radio, listening to it. Okay, now I'm getting invested in it, right? Hey, I'm going to see something pretty kick-ass here. And they totally shit the bed. Like, that's why I'm pissed off.
Yep,
You made me jump back in just to kick me in the nuts again.
Just when I thought I was out, you pull me back in.
Right. And now I'm back.
And now I got a kid to pay for the rest of my life.
That's also what she said. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's what I said.
Don't rewind. Don't rewind.
Hey-o.
Okay. Jack, I know you have to leave. Derek, I think you have to leave too.
Yeah, I
thank
do.
you.
I have other recordings to
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah. We're
Jason,
gonna-
great
I'm
job.
on like
Thanks
three.
for
I'm on
co-hosting
three
it with me.
podcasts. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Have
Think,
the three
Everybody
of you
I'm
else
willing to
start-
joining.
Have the three
I'm
of you
willing to-
recorded
See
yet?
you.
Jack, Nate. Oh, sorry. He's
See ya.
gone.
See you.
Bye, Nate. So I can stay on for a little longer too. So are we still good for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, yeah. Good for
Okay.
tomorrow.
Oh,
Uh,
so are you on tomorrow with us then?
Yep.
Jeremy invited me.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, we're still good for
So
tomorrow.
of the
That's
three
okay.
of you on Ball Blab recorded yet?
Blah blah blah.
Hey, you should be impressed I said it right there,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah, you got it. I'm very.
Well, I
impressed.
can read. It's right in front of me.
No, I record. I record. I'm the guy who like puts out all the videos and podcasts.
So they don't do podcasts with you?
No, they do. They do a lot. We're like 43 episodes in, but that's
Really?
like all time. Like with you, the dates we had together.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
Yeah.
Dates.
yeah, the dates.
I need a ring.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
like
we're
Don.
only up to
You're like
about-
Don Sweeney. You like Don.
We're
Sweeney.
only like 31 or
Dude,
32.
all right. I just saw this stat here. Right, I'm looking at this right now. For the year, they only have 2 wins against the National League. 2. That's it.
At home. Right?
At home. 2 wins. What the fuck?
me. Oh my god. Yeah. Fuck me.
Seriously, I just. Ugh.
Say it again?
2 wins at home against the National League. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
One
good.
against the Reds and one against the Rockies.
You know what the National League is this year? National League is last year's AL East.
Yep.
That's it. This is horseshit, man. I don't get it. I
Yeah,
really
the
don't.
fact remains, though. I mean, Brian Bayo is going to be a stud for years to come. Hopefully, the guys extend him as soon as
Jaron
possible.
Duran shirtless. Sorry.
All right,
you
guys,
see-
I can
yeah.
jump up myself. So this was great. I look forward to
Yeah.
doing it again sometime. Maybe if they win, because then I won't be dropping as many F-bombs as I did today. Because usually I don't. And I haven't even been drinking. That's how
I
bad
have.
that is. So, yeah. So, guys, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
All right, bye.
Yeah. So Mr. Brown, I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
No,
Before we wrap
I
up?
mean, just keep faith in the youth. With the Red Sox have a tremendous farm system. I was a Chaim Bloom hater up until they had the Fan Fest, and you got to listen to where he's coming from. The guy's smart. He knows what he's doing. I think there's definitely a massive disconnect between Cora and Chaim Bloom. I feel like I'm watching the movie Moneyball with I can't remember the coach for the Oakland A's and Billy Bean.
Dave O'Brien.
Yeah, Dave O'Brien. But the coach is like, I'm putting my lineup together. I have to give reasons when I'm interviewing for a job why I put these lineups together. So they're my lineups, and I'm sticking with them. Well, I just traded away half the team. How do you like me now? So it really feels like it's setting up that way. So I'm curious to see what and who Chaim Bloom trades away. Mind you, they're not going to go on a tier like the Oakland A's because the Oakland A's had a lot more talent than the movie Moneyball lets on. I mean, they had, I can't remember the 3 starting pitches. Hudson, the 2 other guys who were aces at the time were fantastic pitchers. They had the shortstop that was awesome. So they had a lot of talent on that team. And they made it sound like they basically sound like they were the Red Sox this year. They're not. The Red Sox are the Moneyball team, though. And it's not going to be a Hollywood ending. I could give you that. But if you get a chance, jump over to Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, listen to Off the Monster podcast. Give us a
You should.
shot. Like I said, we're usually 4 or 5 people, depending on what night. Jason, you'll be on the podcast. So we'll have to do a live podcast too. I'll have to look at it. Do you pay for StreamYard?
No, this was free.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to do a live podcast too. Maybe trade deadline or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was literally thinking, like, I don't know how we joined me, the Off the Monster and Ball Blab.
Sorry, man.
Why? Yeah, no, you're fine. But, like we join and like have like I don't know, a watch party. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. You run it for a couple hours. There's a very good chance that a lot of deals might be done before then, but you don't know. I'm trying to look up the date. I feel like
It's like August 1st.
Is it August 1st?
Yeah.
I hate the way I have like Bing or whatever, and it doesn't tell you.
Bing.
Yeah, I'm like I should have went to Google, but anyway, so it's only about 4 or 5 weeks away, so we'll have to do that. Yeah. Just curious, what do you think of the Bruins moves this last week? What do you think of the Halsey trade? I liked it.
I like it too. You need the cap space.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? I think that's the big thing. Like,
well, I think everybody's expecting the Bertuzzi to get signed, and there's a rumor, and I don't know how true it is that Lucic's coming back.
I heard like for like $900,000. Like,
yeah, I don't know. And I don't trust what I see on Twitter. I think it'd be great. He's a good fourth line guy. He's going to give you some muscle that you need in the Eastern Conference, and if somebody goes after Pasternak, he's going to come out there and pummel the shit out of somebody, put him in the ICU, just because he's Lucic. But they need to sign Bertuzzi. They probably need to re-sign Hathaway. Yes. And they got a couple good defensemen in the return for Hall. And like you said, they cleared up some cap space. I'd like to see them. To see them move Allmark. That's an unpopular view, but $5 million in cap space. You got Swayman. I know he didn't look as good as Allmark last year, but Allmark is not. He's 30, I think, 31. Swayman is the future of your team, and they got another kid down in Providence who's really good. Yeah, so I'm not totally down on the Bruins coming into this year. As long as Pasternak's there, they're going to get somebody to be with him, because if he goes out there by himself, he's going to get his ass kicked every night. But
I think you got to look at Allmark, right? And you got to be like, what can we get for him?
Yeah, I mean, goalies
capitals next year is fucked.
Goalies are like gold in the NHL. I mean, he does have a minimum trade clause. I do know that. I think it's to like 10 teams or something like that. So it's probably the crap teams like Columbus, Carroll. I don't know. I don't know who they are. Probably he doesn't want to go back to Buffalo, I imagine.
Yeah, no. I mean, Buffalo's on the rise.
Yeah, but they're just as much as on the rise as the Bruins.
That's true.
I'd like to see Lizell. I'd like to see him add some weight and maybe make the big club next year. But unless he puts on another 20 pounds, I don't see him making the club. He needs to put on some serious weight.
Yeah, they need to hit on him. They need to hit on a lot of the young guys, because
the kid's got the talent. He's got the Pasternak IQ, but he just doesn't have the body size to be in the NHL.
Didn't we talk about this the other day? Like, he has
possibly.
Like he's kind of almost similar to Pasternak, right? As like he's like
I'm
young.
trying to think of somebody smaller, because Pasternak's definitely gotten up much bigger. He's hit the weight bench a lot since he's been in the league. I don't know, maybe a Stevie Yzerman, or who's the kid at Tampa, St. Louis?
I don't really know.
He's just not a bigger guy.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
we'll definitely talk more tomorrow about it. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on
Yeah,
today.
that's been
Um,
fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do this again. This was awesome. Go follow Mr. Brown on Twitter. I think off the monster. I forget the number after.
Yeah, it's like OTM, but if you just search off the Monster podcast, yeah, we're pretty good. It's just a bunch of guys like we're sitting there on a bar. Sometimes we are literally in the bar, but don't take us seriously. We're not professionals by any means, but we're better than the Boston Globe or WEI. I can give you that. I'll tell you that right now. Or
Yeah.
Boob Nightingale.
Boob Nightingale.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and I did an episode with Stats yesterday for my podcast. It went over 2 hours.
Yeah.
We talked about socks and then we also talked about baseball reference guys.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was awesome.
You guys are both nerds.
He's much more of a nerd than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone for joining today. Awesome. We're gonna do it again some other day. Yeah. Go Sox. Hopefully they can turn it around. I'm gonna end the broadcast.
And Bello can get the no hitter that he deserves.
He got the loss for that. Like, dear God.
All right, man. Have a great night. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Peace. Alrighty. Talk to you tomorrow.